Gun-toting, Bible-reading, God-believing, truth-speaking American. This MAGA season, Democrats committing treason. I know they think it's sweet, but you don't know who you dealing with. This for free thinkers only. You ain't got no membership. They free. General Flynn out the cage, cause he innocent. Martin Roger Stone, cause the run know that he innocent. We need to kick out every single illegal immigrant. Mandatory voter ID laws we need to implement. Tell Jussie Smollett that I know this MAGA country. Tell China we know they tryna play us like some dummies. I looked deep into it and I did the math. Why did Obama send money to that Wuhan lab? What is George Soros doing with all of his cash? Why did China take that Harvard guy and drop him a bag? Why is there so much propaganda? Funny you ask. How about that Bill Gates vaccine? Now, sorry I'll pass, cause I'm a gun-toting patriot. God-fearing patriot. Bryson, why they mad? Cause I'm really Navy faking it. Free speech advocate, it's on my mind, I'm saying it. I'm about to buy another gun and ain't nobody taking it. Gun-toting patriot. God-fearing patriot. Bryson, why they mad? Cause I'm really Navy faking it. Free speech advocate, it's on my mind, I'm saying it. I'm about to buy another gun and ain't nobody taking it.
Good day, friend. I am George Reed, lawyer, legislator, and some say, proud father of Delaware. When I first counseled the Crown as Attorney General, I urged reconciliation. But when the King turned his back on our pleas, I joined the Congress in 1774. A diplomat at heart, I voted against independence at first. I hoped for peace. I later signed that noble declaration with full conviction. I wrote Delaware's first constitution, helped frame her laws, and stood firm in her defense when British troops seized my home and took my wife captive. I was on the run for 6 years, yet I did not waver. I was there in 1776 and again in 1787 to frame our new constitution. Small states like mine needed a voice. Delaware ratified the Constitution first, and I was proud to sign it. A nation was forming. I saw it clearly. Let no one fear the states. The people are with us. Now it is your turn. Guard the Republic well.
Looking out over our city's lights, time feels frozen. Behind each flickering light is a family at home, where parents work tirelessly to unlock brighter futures for their children. I'm establishing Fostering the Future Together, a global coalition of nations committed to well-being of children through the promotion of education, innovation, and technology. We must safeguard healthy environments for our children, protect their personal freedom, their confidence, and motivation. Work with me to empower children to achieve new heights across our planet. Thank you.
Can you hear me now? I was on mute.
I can hear you.
Awesome. Hello, 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 everybody. Enter the chat right now. Right now, while you have some time before we begin, even though we have nothing really planned, but enter the chat right now.
Welcome back to the Unrelenting Political Corner, everyone. What episode is this? Episode 7?
Yeah, so now I kind of just leave the title vague and put the same thumbnail, just put the episode number so it'll be easier to just, go straight to this episode. And it keeps it like, it keeps it in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing's really set in stone. We can talk about whatever. And that's really how season 2 is going anyway. So it just kind of works,
Yeah. So as we get going, y'all know it takes a few minutes for us to get going, but as we get going, you guys are going to be welcome to jump on the stage, talk about what you want to talk about as well. Share your thoughts on some of the information. Now we do have some information. Don't get us wrong. We have some stuff.
I'm excited.
But if there's a particular subject that you want to question us on, get our thoughts and opinions, feel free to put that in the comments or come on cam. So yeah, if you're bored and have nothing else to do, come and join us on the stage.
Right. So I just want to say a quick hello to everybody. Our regulars: Dallas, John Marciano, JG, Beverly, Joseph is in the chat, Justin. I see a Greg Elliott. That's the first time I see this person, so welcome to the chat. Dehydrated Nurse, Leonard, Susan, another new username in the chat I see here. And this username is called Carl is my cat. And he says that he's just on time. So that's cool. Hi, Mick. Mrs. So Much More is in the chat. And Jonathan entered the chat. He said that you were texting him that you're going to get ready to jump on the live stream. So I guess he remembered tonight was Tuesday. So here he is.
Hey, John, if you get bored, come on cam.
Yeah. Yes, Lisa's in the chat. Joe and Fran. Aw, I'm so happy you guys are here. J-Man United. Okay, great. I think we caught up to everybody.
So I do want to start off with an announcement. Some folks already know.
And this it's not news. I mean, this is just it just happens on the regular. So nobody should be shocked or anything.
Yeah. So last Thursday, I'm on Facebook and I put a post up about Tartaria and walked away, came back, and it said, "Session has expired. Please log in." I'm like, crap. All right, let's log in.
And then
put my password in, and it says, "Your account has been disabled." So once again, which I thought they were done with that. Apparently not.
I thought you were done with Facebook and you was gonna spend more of your time on X, which we all agreed back in the day was way more, no censorship, everybody got their account, Elon fixed it and everything.
Yeah. But Facebook's been my battlefield. It's been my battlefield, and that's the one that there's tons of people on X. But Facebook was my battlefield. I had my folks. They were sharing stuff that I was posting. It was my battlefield. Right. So I have been kicked off of that battlefield again. And I do not know how long it's going to last. Last time it went from August 2nd of last year to January 21st. So what is that? September, October, November, December. That was like 5 months. So who knows how long I'm going to be banned again, which means that anything that I have sent you, Ruby, through Messenger, it's all gone. Anything associated with me is gone from Facebook. Again.
Yeah, that's why everybody should find you on X and follow you there and send me everything on X as a backup.
That's what I'm doing. So if you liked my content on Facebook, I'm pretty much going to do the same thing that I was doing on Facebook over on X. I'll put up the geopolitical reports. I'll put little things in, it's actually kind of cool because you can get a little more brazen on X than you can Facebook. But, I had all my people there. So
Jay says that you're bragging about being kicked off of Facebook again. But you know what? I'm kind of like, this is it's like a love and hate relationship with Facebook. Like, I hate Facebook. Just get rid of it. Like, ill. Like it's a boomer app, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, ill. I do not use Facebook. So it's like, I think this is actually a good thing. So we could get Jimmy off of Facebook and into another platform.
Yeah, I think this is the 4th time. And what's probably going to happen if they do let me back on, I'll probably end up starting with 0 again, and I have to send out a bunch of friend requests. So, speaking of that, please, folks, let other folks know I did not ban anybody. I did not block anybody. I did not unfriend anybody. None of that happened. I'm the one that just got banned. Is that my
Right.
dog? That's my dog. Okay.
It,
Sorry.
it, it must be somebody reporting your page, honestly. I think somebody maybe is reporting it because you've been posting things that's not different than what you regularly post. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't
Exactly.
violate guidelines or rules. So unless it's the context of the information that you're sharing, or it must be somebody reporting it. So
Yeah.
that's
I mean, and one thing that I did this time is I avoided going to other people's pages and getting into a debate with somebody there.
right.
Now, I did have one conversation that night before on John Marciano's page. It was the only time I've ever gone, one time I've gone on somebody's page, and I had a conversation with somebody, and it's actually somebody that I've been eyeing a little bit because I'm like, I don't know about this person. I'm not going to mention the name, but I'll just say I got my eye on them because I'm not trying. I was almost ready to block that person, but I didn't. I probably should have. But anyway, it is what it is. So,
Well, yeah, it is what it is. So, we do have somebody backstage, so I will be more than happy to bring him up. So, really quickly, if you can introduce yourself, go right ahead.
Hi, I'm Bradley Cares. I'm here to care about what you're talking about and to
hey,
help
Bradley, how you doing
you.
tonight?
I'm doing good. Peace and love to y'all tonight.
So, Jimmy, do
Appreciate that.
you know who this is?
I have no clue.
Oh, okay. So, well, welcome. You're brand new to the show, to the stage. If you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
Canada?
Canada?
Nice.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's cool. But I mean, we usually talk about American politics. So if you
Oh,
have
no,
any
it's
opinions
okay.
about, yeah, yeah, I mean, that's cool. I'm just saying, if you have any opinions about American politics, we're gonna dive into it in a minute. And Jimmy has some cool information that we're gonna discuss about some stuff that we spoke about last week. Ah, yes, you see, I mean,
I
beautiful.
was,
I love it. I
I
love it.
was
I mean, I
wondering.
have
Yeah.
my background too, but my flag is fake.
I was
So
just
I,
asking.
I just
I,
want to
I,
ask, how did you come across our show, Bradley? Right?
yeah.
Okay.
This
How did
is
you
an
come across?
open podcast, right?
Yeah.
it is.
So you tag something on an open podcast. So that's something that anyone can join to have fun and have a good time.
Correct.
That's what I like to do. So anyone that searches that out will find your podcast.
All right.
You're right.
Awesome.
You are so right. So, well, Jimmy's kind of like my co-host, so I usually ask him what direction he wants to go into first because we kind of
Oh,
freestyle the show a lot. So tonight is going to be one of those nights where it's just very conversational. We don't really debate anything, but we just kind of ask each other's opinions.
can I ask a question? How
Yeah.
many people? How many people have you had? Has anyone else tried to join your show tonight?
Yeah, the most we've ever had was about 9 people on the stage. That was actually really cool. Was that last week or the week before?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the week
those
before.
panels were pretty full up. But
Yeah,
I'm
we had about
when did you guys start?
we started last year, July of 2024. We were on every Tuesday up until about July of this year. We took about a month and a half off. Month off, and then we came back with season 2.
Oh, the time though. What time do you guys usually start doing this?
9 o'clock every Tuesday
Yeah,
nights.
we just
Okay,
went live. So I'm
you-
so cool you caught us early because we usually stream till about midnight Eastern Standard
Yeah,
Time.
oh,
So
nice.
yeah.
yeah, sometimes it gets heavy.
See,
Sometimes I
see,
say a lot of stuff.
yeah. In season 1, we were going like 4 hours.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
we've cut it down to 3, right around 3, because Ruby's got work she's got to do in the morning, and I actually got to get off at 12 tonight too. So
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
so I got work to do. We got someone else on the stage. Leonard, is
Yeah,
that Leonard?
so Leonard is here. Hi, Leonard.
Hi, Leonard.
Hi.
Thanks for joining the stage, guys. I'm so glad you're here early. I mean, Leonard he's a veteran here. He knows us. He knows me. So
Oh.
nothing I say will really shock Leonard. But you, Bradley, I don't know. So bear with me. Don't judge me. This is
No, I don't judge no one.
this is a safe place uh to talk about politics. But
Okay.
really, so Jimmy, I had some bookmarks. Now, those kind of bookmarks were kind of some clips that I wanted to show you, and then I had like some this picture of the Oval Office, what it looked like when supposedly Obama was president, and now when Trump was president, and it's a huge. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you guys to look at this picture. Okay. Well, give me one moment. Let me pull it up.
All right, let's take a look. I'm getting ready to look.
Yeah. Let's see.
You
Okay.
ever have? I mean, one time I had some Ovaltine office.
All right. So do you see that picture right here?
A little bit. It's small. Well, there we go. It's enhance.
Okay. So this will be a great conversation starter before we get into the heavy stuff. Now look at these two pictures. So I found this on X. So the picture on the left is when Obama was president, and on the right is when is now, like, when Trump is president.
Can I
Thoughts
say
and opinions?
I don't think that's real.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say no. Why is there a plane in the middle of the fucking screen?
So I think that's the one that Trump designed or something like that. I mean,
I
I'm
think
not
that's the one that-
debating.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the one that crashed into the Twin Towers. I'm just saying.
Wow, okay. I think this show is for Bradley.
If it was the one that Trump,
I think
if
he's
it was
ready.
the one that Trump designed, it'd be gold.
Oh, that's true. But just look at the two different pictures, and everybody in the chat, let me know how you guys feel as well. Because I mean, I'm not saying, whose office is right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, how do you feel about how the office is decorated? Do you think it's like a good thing, a bad thing, kind of showing off? Like what do you think?
I'll just go with the personality type. On the left, it looks dreary. It looks bland. Not too exciting, which reminds me of Obama. But then on the right hand side, we all know that Trump likes extravagant things. Just look at his hotels, look at the rooms, look at his freaking house. I mean, last week we played the clip where he said that he was offering to help rebuild the UN building, and he was going to give them marble floors. So he likes nice things. There's no question about that. So I saw a video earlier today that showed the Oval Office. It was actually a video going around it, and it looked like that. But Trump did put pictures back up in the wall. He put the Declaration of Independence back up there. He made it his own, and it's his office. He can do whatever he wants to with it. So
it would be fake, unless Trump is a part of the Hindu culture. Is Trump a part of the Hindu culture?
No.
So why does it look like that? Because that looks like something you'd see in a fucking opium den.
It is pretty extravagant.
It is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. The Fighter of Truth in the chat says the money being wasted on decorating the Oval Office can be used to help the veterans or homeless. But you know how many other things we can say the same thing. Like, I mean, I totally agree. I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying, like Jimmy said, it's a personality thing. They're all gonna change. With each administration comes in, they're gonna change and do things differently.
I will say, I will push back on that a little bit, because there was a lot of people talking about the ballroom, and they were complaining about our tax dollars going to rebuild. No, it's coming out of Trump's pocket. He's paying for it.
I got big pants, so I have a lot of ballroom.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Lord.
How about you, Leonard? Any thoughts before we shift?
I'm just.
Does it matter to you how the president decorates?
It really doesn't matter because at the end of it, you know, he's gonna make change and rearrange any at any cost anyway. So hey,
Right.
I'm a person. I like nice things too, but I'm just not. I'm just not braggadocious about it. You know, I'm just not gonna just put myself out in the open because
Okay.
personally, I'm just not a materialistic person. So
Okay.
I'm just not gonna just spread myself out in the open.
But what if that picture wasn't real? Like it obviously wasn't. That plane in the middle of the picture. Why is there a giant plane in his on his desk? Why that's not real.
You know, I actually saw in this first term there was a plane, and it looked like the same one
On his desk, just sitting in the middle.
It was actually, yeah, it was actually in the sitting area to where people were. So there was a plane in the first term. I'll write it down. One thing that we do on the show, Bradley, is when we come up with something like this, I usually write it down and go look it up and come back next week and say, hey, guys, this is what I found. This is where I found it at.
I trust my instincts, and my instincts tells me that plane was placed in the middle of that picture.
Oh, there was a definite.
It's not on anything. It doesn't
Yeah.
fit into the picture.
Yeah,
that
there's
picture's fake. The picture's fake. That's what it tells me.
It's definitely what we would call a comm. There's a reason why that's there, and I'll tell you what. I'm gonna write it down and see if I can look it up the answer for next week.
Yeah.
Call me Bradley the detective, because I'm sorry, when I see something that's not real, I'm a wrestling fan, so you can't bullshit a bullshitter. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, we value all opinions. I just wanted to see how people would react or maybe not like the way Trump decorates things or anything like that. Just wanted to like get people's opinion about
But
that.
what if it's not real? You can't be asking somebody's opinion on something
Well,
that's not
I
real.
mean, aside from that, yeah, exactly. Aside from that point, let's just say for the sake of the argument that it is.
You think you're going
Trump,
to get actual live photographs of inside the White House?
I mean, they do conferences and stuff like that sometimes. You know, like the media comes in and they show you kind of
like
what it looks like.
Seems like a breach of national security, don't you?
I know, I agree. I'm just saying, like the because you know, like when Lalia did Christmas and everybody has such an issue about the Christmas decorations and stuff like that, because she was going all out and everything. That's what I mean. It's like I wanted to get people's opinion of how maybe Trump does things differently. You know,
but you have to make sure you're getting the real.
Yeah, sure. But
Sure.
Well,
you can just
Bradley,
put up a fake picture of some bullshit and get people to say Trump's an asshole because you put up a fake picture about.
Okay, true. I understand where you're coming from, but there is. I've said this before on my show, is that I don't really do that. I just throw things out there just for the sake of the discussion and just to get people's opinions. And then, like Jimmy said, we write it down, bring it back next Tuesday and be like, hey, remember what we thought about last Tuesday? Guess what? And then we kind of just give an update. So it's just for the sake of the conversation.
Well, speaking of that, let's switch gears real quick.
I'm just saying, keep in mind.
So last week I wrote down some things for homework, and one of the things was when Trump was giving his speech at the UN, he mentioned that there was a list of 7 wars that he said he stopped. And there was a lot of people that didn't know exactly what the 7 wars were, including myself. So I went and found it, and I wanted to share with you guys what I found. So these are the 7 different wars that Trump was alluding to in his speech at the UN. Now, the information that I pulled this from is from CBS News. So we know that's mainstream media. I really don't like using mainstream media stuff, but hey, I'm going to do it. And you guys can decide for yourselves whatever to believe. So the first war was Israel and Iran. The information provided was after Israel attacked Iran's nuclear facilities in June, a 12-day conflict resulted in the deaths of about 28 Israelis and hundreds of Iranians before a ceasefire was reached with U.S. and Qatari involvement. Mr. Trump claimed credit, saying he had ordered U.S. airstrikes on Iran's uranium enrichment sites and pressed Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to hold back from further strikes. Michael O'Hannon, a senior fellow at Brookings, said Trump deserves some credit for this ceasefire. He managed to use a combination of a good relationship with Netanyahu, but also a willingness to put a little pressure on Netanyahu that I think contributed to this ceasefire. So that was the first one, Israel and Iran.
You said that it had U.S. involvement, so
yeah, I mean, yeah. So yeah, he was involved in getting that done. The next one was Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In June, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo announced a peace deal after multiple days of talks in Washington, mediated by President Trump and Qatar.
This is current? What year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny because Israel and Iran, it said before a ceasefire was reached with U.S. and Qatari involvement. Then we come over here to the Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo, and it says mediated by President Trump and Qatar. Qatar is mentioned again. Might be something to look into that. The deal aimed to end 3 decades of fighting over Congo's mineral reserves. Yet the violence has continued, with both sides accusing each other of violating peace terms. Human Rights Watch reported that M23, an armed group that U.S. officials believe is backed by Rwanda, killed over 140 civilians in eastern Congo in July. O'Hanlon said it's a premature declaration of success when, in fact, we're just getting to the starting line. So there's that one. The next one was Armenia and Azerbaijan. I hope I'm saying that correctly. In August, Mr. Trump helped negotiate an agreement aimed at normalizing relations and reopening transportation routes between Armenia and Azerbaijan, which have spent decades fighting for control of the Karabakh region. O'Hanlon and Haas agreed that Trump administration pushed the deal forward in part by inviting both leaders to the White House. Leaders of both countries also credited Trump for the agreement, saying he should receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Thailand and Cambodia. In late July, Thailand and Cambodia agreed to a ceasefire after an outbreak of fighting killed at least 35 people. Trump said that he had pressured both sides to come to the table by threatening trade consequences. The U.S. is a top importer for both countries, and foreign policy expert CBS News said Mr. Trump's tariff threats played a significant role in securing a ceasefire. He helped move things along with economic pressure, Haas said.
I'm sorry, I gotta go.
Okay.
This is great. You guys got a good show. I like it, but I got.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Yes, I love you guys. This is great.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, go ahead, Jimmy.
India and Pakistan. India and Pakistan agreed to a ceasefire in May after weeks of cross-border missiles and drone strikes. The deal ended the latest flare-up in their long-running dispute over Kashmir, which both nuclear-armed nations claim as their territory. Pakistan credited the Trump administration's efforts in U.S.-led talks and nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize. But India insisted its own pressure on Pakistan, not U.S. diplomacy, drove the deal. There's no real ending to this conflict, he said, noting that future negotiations could be complicated by Trump's decision to impose steep tariffs on India, a key partner. Egypt and Ethiopia. Trump also claims he brokered peace between Ethiopia and Egypt, which have disagreed about Ethiopia's decision to construct a hydroelectric dam in the Nile. During his first term, Trump tried to broker a deal between the countries and suspended some aid to Ethiopia because of a lack of progress. In June, the president mentioned the dispute on Truth Social, writing, "There is peace, at least for now, because of my intervention, and it will stay that way." No deals have been announced, however. Ethiopia still plans to officially open its dam in September. And while Egypt previously threatened to go to war over the dam, this conflict has remained a diplomatic one. Serbia and Kosovo. In 2020, Trump helped negotiate a deal between Serbia and Kosovo to help normalize economic ties, but progress stalled afterward. Talks have continued with European leaders, but no breakthroughs have emerged. Kosovo declared its independence from Serbia in 2008, which Serbia still does not recognize. His deal making, to the extent that it existed, actually occurred in his first term, and he really hasn't stopped what's going on, Haas said. So, those were the 7 different conflicts that Trump was alluding to in his speech. Now, you can go look those up. And like I said, everybody, I pulled this from CBS News, so you know it wasn't pro-Trump. So you can go and look, and if you're interested in, how that deal actually came about, what really you can go look that stuff up. But
Right.
I did my part.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. But was that this season, or was that his last administration?
Oh, he gave the speech. That was this
Right,
administration.
this one. Okay, so because he's only been president for a few months, right?
Yeah. One of the titles said 7 wars in 7 months.
Right. Okay. So that's a lot. That's a lot.
I mean, if you really think about it, this dude has a lot on his plate. I mean, we get tired when we go to our regular job, come home, have to fix dinner, take care of the animals, maybe have to do some yard work, and by the end of the day, we're just like, okay, I'm beat.
Right.
I mean, this dude is all over the place.
So, how would you answer this? Because JG says that he reviewed this as well, and that he would call these geopolitical conflicts rather than wars. Let's see what happens with Ukraine and Russia, and Israel and Gaza.
I would agree with that. I would agree. Well, there were some of those. Okay, hold on. Some of those would be just geopolitical stuff. Diplomatic relations, trade deals, things like that. But on the other hand, there were some where there was actually the people were warring and killing people, especially over in Rwanda and the Congo. So, yeah, that was so it's a combination of both.
Okay, all right. You guys already know how I feel about geopolitics, so we're gonna move on. Remember when we spoke about Bad Bunny last Tuesday? We touched on it, and I've been seeing a lot of back and forth about whether or not he is gonna be, for the halftime. I don't know. Was it Coca-Cola threatening to like pull their products or something?
I think it was Coke.
Yeah, I think it was Coke, and then people were making the joke that if Coke does that, then Pepsi will step right in. And that's the problem that I don't like about America. That's probably the only thing I don't like about us as capitalists or capitalism in America, is because when one falls through, the another company will pick it up, or another advertising will pick it up, and the principle's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't stand up for much when it comes to capitalism. But did you see what Bad Bunny said recently on SNL? Apparently,
he basically said, if you don't understand my content, you got 4 months to learn Spanish.
Yeah, let's play that clip really quickly, and then I'm gonna read a caption that.
Logro de todo, demostrando que nuestra huella y nuestra aportación en este país nadie nunca la podrá sacar ni borrar. And if you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn. We have a great logro.
I think not, Bad Bunny.
So tell me how you feel about that, guys, in the chat really quickly. He says, if we don't understand what he's saying, that we have 4 months to learn Spanish, meaning because he's going to play in the Super Bowl and nobody's going to know a word he's singing. They're just going to be bopping along with the beat and not understand the
lyrics.
Degenerate lyrics at that.
Yeah.
It's not just lyrics. It's more than just that. And then we did touch about the culture. We always talk about culture. And I actually saw a clip too. I don't know if you guys seen it. That basically Bad Bunny is a plant. That he is being backed by a man that is some type of position in a different country. in
Yeah.
their government. Do you
Yeah.
know about that? Okay.
I heard about it, but I didn't mark it or anything. But yes, I have heard that.
Okay. So okay, here we go. I have a clip right here. So I'm gonna play it at like 1.5 speed, just so that we can get the information quickly.
Okay.
I'm going to show you a video from a Latin American podcast of why this guy and the mainstream media is pushing this guy so hard to play at the Super Bowl halftime show. And you're going to understand why they have him on SNL doing skits and saying to provoke, oh, learn Spanish, you have 4 months. Watch. I put English captions here.
Muerte al capitalismo. Bad Bunny es manejado por la productora Rimas Entertainment, cuyo propietario es Rafael Jiménez Dan, ex viceministro del gobierno de Hugo Chávez desde el 2006. Estoy hablando de la persona que manejó y que descubrió y que le puso dinero a Bad Bunny. ¿Por qué un militar del ejército venezolano no pasa a producir música? ¿Qué tiene que ver una cosa con otra? Pues se llama gente cultura. Claro. La lucha ya no va a ser de clase, ahora vámonos a través de la cultura. A erosionar la identidad de género, por eso se disfrazaba de mujer. Vamos a erosionar la fe, nos burlamos. Vamos entonces a introducir todo este bombardeo sexual, identitario, todo eso a través de la música. Y además, vamos a ir contra los Estados Unidos, que es el principal.
Hey, Ruby.
So now you know, and if you go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you may have to just recap what all that was said, because on my end, I don't know about the viewers, but on my end, the caption was so small, I had no clue what she was saying.
Oh, yes, yes. As soon as this
Okay.
is done, we're gonna go over it.
Okay. Okay.
To Bad Bunny before he was known anywhere, and he was in Puerto Rico making music. This is what he looked like, just like a normal rapper. Kind of cute even, and he used to wear a crucifix. Like, it's so weird. He was even photographed wearing this in 2021. But one day he took off his crucifix and started doing this and throwing hand symbols and wearing whatever that is on his forehead, which we know. So in my opinion, I think he met the wrong people and sold his soul for fame and other things. That's him. Who's that?
Ah, interesting.
Okay, so there's one thing that I would say is that I don't really judge, people in this kind of position by association. Like, just because he was seen next to Diddy, in my opinion, it doesn't really
You
mean
have to be careful with that. Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically what they were saying was the backing behind Bad Bunny, like how he became so rich and famous so fast, like some kid from who knows where in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? Like a nobody.
Right.
So basically, he was signed or he's managed by an entertainment production company owned by Rafael Jimenez Dan, and he was a former deputy minister of Hugo Chavez government since 2006.
Wow.
And
Really?
and that he discovered and put money behind Bad Bunny. And then it also says, why would an ex-army officer, military officer from Venezuela start producing music? And then they're like, exactly, what does that have to do with music? And then she says, because guys, it's called Marxism, cultural Marxism.
Yep.
The battle will no longer be between classes, though now it's through culture. And that's the battleground to erode gender identity. That's why he dresses up as a woman. They erode the faith by mocking it. And then we're going to introduce all this bombardment of sexual identity and all of that through music. And they are also going to go against the United States, which is the main enemy of Latin American communism. And then she shows you what Bad Bunny used to look like. 2013, he was 19 years old. He looked like a regular rapper, stereotypical, just regular. And that in 2021, he was wearing a MAGA hat. And then all of a sudden, he starts doing all these weird things, which is like the symbolism of Illuminati, started doing the nail polish. I mean, like I said before, just very degenerate and just 360 from when he first started out. And then come to find out this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the things is when you cross over into that group, you have what they call the humiliation ritual. And the humiliation ritual entails these people, these guys, dressing up in women's dresses. I mean, you can do a quick search. You can find LeBron James dressed in a woman's dress. There's hundreds of them that are out there wearing dresses, and that is a humiliation ritual in the deep state, Illuminati, whatever the hell you want to call it. So,
or he's just playing his part. He's a character, and they sign contracts, and that's probably in it. I mean, it's probably not him. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he's playing a part, and I don't know if he's doing it for money or fame or whatever. But they all do it for something, right? I mean, I don't really care. I just bring this out because we talk about culture.
And I'll just say, that's one thing we need to look at. They said, was it that woman that said, they didn't want to do it by race anymore. They want to go attack culture instead. And I think one of the reasons they want to do that is because race is not as big as an issue in America as the media makes it out to be. And that's something that they've tried to push. And it's not really getting the results that they wanted. And so now they've gone to attacking the culture of America. We can see it with the rise of Islamic influence in Michigan, Minnesota, Michigan, Texas, of all places. You can see them wanting to put Sharia law in. You have this guy and trying to push the gender stuff. So they're attacking the culture. That's what they're going after.
Right. But those things used to work. You see, like when the civil rights movement and stuff.
Oh, it used to work.
It really used to work. And I think that since it isn't anymore, they just come up with something else. Something else more evil, something else more dangerous. And it's going to keep going. The slope never ends until we end it. So this is why I like to talk about it on the show, is because those uncomfortable topics have to be discussed. And we're witnessing it in real time. So this is the perfect time to acknowledge that this is actually happening and to stop it.
And it's not something that's just happened overnight either. I mean, you look in Europe and you look at the erosion of different countries' cultures. You look at London and you're going to see a bunch of Islamic folks, which when I was a kid and I thought of London, I thought of Brits and this, same thing in Germany, same thing. Look at France.
Right.
France is they're about falling. I mean, hell, the prime minister just resigned within the past week. I think it's like their sixth one in a certain period of time, in a short period of time. But he just resigned last week. So France is a hellhole right now. It's nothing like what we pictured France to be back when I was a kid.
Right. And I think that's just like an obvious observation. If I want to see French people, I would go to France. If I want to see English, I would go to Britain. If I want to see Spanish people, I would go to Spain or any other Latin country.
Correct.
But if I'm going to a country, right? I'm a tourist, I'm spending money, I want to go over there. I don't want to go over there and not see what I was expecting, right? So I mean, if I wanted to see Islamic populations, I would go to those countries, right? So it's a global problem done on purpose, and we're kind of
100%.
we're on the same page with that one. But the caption to that video about Bad Bunny saying that you have 4 months to learn Spanish, it was from Lauren Chen on X, and she said, Latin America speaks Spanish because they were colonized by Spain in such totality that the native languages died out for the most part. Spanish turning into an anti-colonialist message is truly the work of retards. How do you feel about that comment?
All right, that's funny. I mean, let's just say not funny. That's ironic. So Spain, So Spain colonized all those areas when there were people there that had their own language, and it wasn't Spanish, but the colony, that's
But I mean,
weird.
that is
That's weird.
true, right?
That
Because
is, yeah,
Spain had Puerto Rico, and now that language is
yeah.
prominent rather than the native Taino language that we probably used to speak. Now we all speak Spanish because of because of Spain, right? And now
Hmm.
he's telling us that we have to learn Spanish now if we want to understand him,
Oh wow, that's
right?
that's
I
very
know.
ironic.
Yeah, let that sink in for a second. And then somebody else, I think it was Myron on YouTube, he said, well, why don't you learn English to come play at our game? I mean, football, that's an American thing, is a part of American culture. How are you telling us to learn your language? It's the other way around. You learn English. How about you make music in English and come
Yeah,
play and entertain for us?
there was I think there was a political congressman or somebody, congresswoman, that said that the people going to the Super Bowl should darken their skin to confuse ICE.
Wow, that's
Look,
racist.
do a quick search on that. See, yeah,
Wait, who said that?
I don't remember who said it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. That is very racist, actually.
Yeah,
Darken skin for Super Bowl? The heck? Was that Whoopi?
it was Whoopi. It was Whoopi.
What?
Yeah, I remember seeing the picture and the headline. I didn't see her actually say it, or do we have video of that, or is there any video of that?
Let me see.
That's even worse that it's coming from Whoopi.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is from the New York Post. It says Whoopi Goldberg bizarrely suggested that Super Bowl attendees could dupe ICE by adopting a Latin accent and tanning their skin.
So I
That's crazy.
apologize. It was. I apologize. It wasn't a political figure. I just couldn't remember who said it. But okay, yeah, Whoopi.
Let's see.
There's so much shutdown talk. Something different. What do you guys think about the NFL's decision to name Bad Bunny as the Super Bowl halftime performer, somebody who has not scheduled shows in the U.S. because he says that he's worried that ICE is going to come and arrest his fans?
Well, look, I know there are many in this room who are very anxious to hear the president's response to Bad Bunny being the halftime show, so I won't get ahead of him. I won't reveal what he feels about this. Next time you all ask him a question, you're welcome to do that. I have my own feelings on that, but that's not what I'm up here to talk about. As far as ICE being at the Super Bowl, as far as I'm aware, there's no tangible plan for that in store right now. However, of course, this administration is always going to arrest and deport illegal immigrants when we find them. If they are criminals, we're going to do the right thing by our country. Kate.
Did the president and Russ...
I found it.
So she didn't say that they weren't going to be there.
Well, yeah, I'm glad I kind of played that because it was on topic, but I think I found the clip. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
Anyway, she's threatening to go to the Super Bowl when Bad Bunny is there and round up all these people that are illegal immigrants. Do you think that she would go if it was Garth Brooks or Eminem or Taylor Swift or any other white person?
Let me understand what you're saying, because she's going to go to the Super Bowl and round up. How's she going to know who's who?
Because the Supreme Court has given permission to question anyone who has a Spanish accent, who has a dark skin.
Yeah. So here's
That's why.
Here's the thing. Everybody get a little cocoa butter, sit in the sun. That's the first thing. and this is the only time you can probably ever do this. Give yourself a Latin accent.
You know, Whoopi, that is
And
such a
just
good
see
idea.
and see if she can tell who's who.
Oh, wow. Wow. Now let's
Yeah.
reverse. Let's change it from Latin and let's say it was black. You know, would it be okay? She don't like that blackface. You know, culture appropriation.
Right,
Hell,
that's
I
what
watched
it is.
it. Yeah, I watched a video the other day where there was a lady with blonde dreads, a white lady. She had dreads, and then a black lady walked by her, and she got all bent out of shape because this white girl had dreads in her hair.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's culture appropriation. So that's exactly, you know, they speak out against it, but yet now she's actually telling people to go do it. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the comment says Whoopi Goldberg goes full racist and tells people to wear Latino face at the Super Bowl in order to confuse ICE. But you know what? I think, and you see, this is the problem is because they say, and well, they feel as if it's okay for them to say it because she's black. So it's okay for them to say it. But if I said that, or if you said that, or I mean, we're perceived as white. So it would be totally inappropriate for somebody like us to say that, right?
Right. Right.
So that's the double standard. I mean, and you see, this is why I don't care about these types of things because it's just dumb. I go
Yeah.
deeper into like the culture problem and things like that. I don't really care about this kind of stuff because she's on TV. She's gonna say things like that just because, you know what I'm saying? And they love that ignorance. It's gonna get them views. It's gonna get people to talk about it.
Yep.
So I'm not offended. I don't care. Um, and I'm loving the comments. Everybody is here in the comments. Mama Bear says, Jimmy, you are too sensitive. And they are laughing it up in the comments. And Jesse said, whoop ass in the chat. So everybody's in a good mood tonight. Everybody's laughing and joking in the chat. I love it.
Well, good. Hopefully that stays that way. Considering some of the topics we're getting ready to get into.
What do you have?
So you want to switch gears?
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
what you got?
All right. So let's start with something shorter. Go over to our X.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's X. No, just go. Did I do it? Did I give it? Go to my X page. I think I sent it to you. But go to my X page.
Okay. How do I? All right, hold on.
Oh wait, I did send it to you in our DMs.
Okay, so you want to go to the DM? What?
Yeah,
And
go to
what?
our DM. It should be the one with Jeffrey Epstein's picture. So last week we had Bo come on here and talk about the Sophia doll. And so I did find a clip that some folks were talking about that. I wanted to play that for you guys. Bo actually sent me the clip. I had to refind it because he sent it to me on Facebook Messenger, and well, that just went away. We were going to talk about the history of the name Sophia. However, I did go and look that information up, and it would actually go into a religious, spiritual conversation about the what the Gnostics were saying about the name Sophia and what she actually represents. So if you're interested in that stuff, go look up the Gnostic meaning of Sophia. It'll take you down one hell of a rabbit hole.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me show you. Well, let me tell you because I don't think you could see it if I put it on screen. But I have a post that you sent me about a secret CIA memo, 1967. I don't think
Okay,
that's it.
that's not it. That's not it. Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to that.
Okay, then I see a post of just a YouTube link.
Try that.
Okay.
I know. I thought I did post it on my X page.
Yes,
So
that's it. It's it.
okay, cool.
Got it.
So
Okay.
this is information on the Sophia doll.
You want to watch the whole clip? It's about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect.
speaking of Epstein there, something I found as fascinating actually was I seen you talk about it on Sean's show actually quite a couple of months back, was the AI dolls with Epstein. I mean, go down that rabbit hole a small bit, because that's mind blowing for some people.
So when Epstein wasn't blackmailing prominent politicians and heads of industry, he was interacting with a lot of scientists, and I'm sure he was blackmailing them too. But one of the things he was definitely doing was he was financing them. He would give money to a variety of different organizations. He gave money. He gave $30 million to a guy named Martin Nowak at Harvard for him to start an evolutionary biology program, which looked at like game theory on population structures and things like that. And it's like, that sounds like a nice way of saying, let's examine eugenics and depopulation. When you talk about game theory on population, if we do this to this society, it will have what effect? Oh, if we did that, how many people could we eliminate? And all these things. So one of the things that he financed was a guy named Ben Goertzel. And Ben Goertzel is a hardcore AI scientist guy. He started a company called Singularity.net, and he's involved in robotics. He was the co-founder with Hanson Robotics that built the Sophia robot. Now, the Sophia robot was this AI sort of female-looking human robot that had like the back of the head was kind of opened up Terminator style, where you could see all the circuitry and everything. And it was about 2 years ago or so, when this was all in the headlines, but Saudi Arabia granted citizenship to Sophia, the AI robot, in some PR stunt and everything. Ironic that they give rights to the AI robot woman, but not the actual women. But that's a different story. So, but they brought this robot out, and it was like, oh, isn't this interesting? It's like an AI doll or an AI robot. Millions of dollars probably it cost. And like I said, it was partly a PR stunt. Well, but Ben Goertzel, one of the co-guys that was doing it with David Hanson Robotics, he also has his own thing going on. Epstein gave him $6.5 million to design a little Sophia AI doll that was about 16 inches high. It wasn't going to be this multi-million-dollar doll. It was going to be a much smaller consumer product, targeting for emotional intelligence was the term that they used for girls 8 years and up. So what this doll had in it, you ever see that movie The Game with Michael Douglas and Sean Penn, where they've got that robot clown that they put in the corner that's eyes are actual cameras and it's watching everything? This little Sophia robot doll is like that. Cameras, Wi-Fi, microphones, geofencing, tracking, and it's recording all its interactions with these girls for emotional intelligence. So just for a minute, allow your mind to go to this place where the scientist who's funded by Jeffrey Epstein is creating these interactive dolls that go into the bedroom of some little girl that records what she's saying, watches what she's doing, feeds this information back to some system somewhere, some mainframe computer that analyzes it. They've got a geo tracker on it so they know where this kid is. What's to stop Jeffrey Epstein from getting together with his sicko friends and placing orders for little kids to go kidnap them later? I mean, there's nothing. You would have all of this information. You could literally open a catalog of kids that you wanted to abduct. Now, if Hasbro or Mattel or Disney, well, maybe Disney's the wrong example, but if one of these toy companies wanted to make a doll like this, I might be able to get on board with it, because I could say, well, it's sort of it's the evolution of dolls. I remember Teddy Ruxpin back in the 80s was this doll that talked and everything. And it might just be like, the third generation of that, where it's like, not only does it talk, but it'll listen to you and it can communicate. I could maybe get on board with that. But the fact that Epstein's behind it, you have to ask, what was the plan? What was the plan for this? And that is something that is very real, that is happening. So he was taking money to finance these people, and you wonder what the agenda was. You know he's working on depopulation. You know he's tied in with all of these guys.
So what you think about that?
That's scary. That's scary. And there's lots of movies like that,
Yeah.
actually. Lots of movies like that. And I think one of the movies that really traumatized me, and I saw it in theaters, was Ex Machina. And it was similar to that. Like he had those robots as like housemaids and stuff like that. But then it turned when the robot actually started having thoughts and emotions of her own. And
Mhm.
then it kind of turned a little weird, like relations that are inappropriate, like transhumanism, basically, right? Because it's
Yeah.
not a human; it's just a robot. That movie scared the heck out of me. And while I'm listening to him speak, that's what popped in my head, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, the scary
Mm.
thing is they have the technology to do it. I mean, look at our phones. I mean, me and Carissa were having a conversation the other night and actually took our phones and put it in another room, and we were having a conversation about some stuff. And but your smart TVs, they've got it to where they can actually view inside your living room through the cameras. The technology is out there, but to specifically have something designed to target the kids, that's straight up
Right.
evil right there. And I'll have to push back on what the guy said. Now he said, well, if it was a toy company, Hasbro, Mattel, I might be able to get behind it. And I was thinking, no, those toy executives could have been bought out too to mass produce this and get it out there.
Well, if you think about it, because I remember a long time ago they did come out with a toy that was a robot dog. I don't know if you guys remember that, like early
Yeah.
2000s. It was like a puppy, but it was a robot.
Yeah.
Everybody ate that up. It was cute, and everybody bought it and took it home, right? And the kids are all playing with it. That's close. You know what I'm saying? And people still bought it.
One of the things that I
So
remember, one of the movies was a Batman movie, and it was the one where Jim Carrey was the Joker. And if I
no
remember,
way.
yeah, Jim Carrey was the Joker.
What
Yeah,
year?
we're talking about the 90s.
Ah, that's what it is. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But anyway, there was this device that they were trying to sell, and it was supposed to go into all the homes, and it was like a cable box or something, but it was actually draining the people's minds into this gadget, and it was harvesting their minds, and people were just like falling for it and buying it and all this. So that's the movie.
Okay, so that's 1995. No wonder
Yeah,
I wasn't even born yet.
so again, they were putting it out in the movies that, hey, there's a device that we want to sell to the public that will basically mind control them, get them thought, all that stuff. So it was in there. I can't remember what they named it. But if anybody in the chat wants to Google, if you have, where the scene is, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Or what the
Okay.
name of the device was or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like those toys companies, they started already. They already started. Same thing with the Switches, Nintendo DSs. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that those things also listen, take pictures, uh, everything. So, you know.
So what do y'all think about that?
Yeah, I see everybody's comments here. Let me see. Jane says the robotic police dogs here shoot pepper spray and taser. Looks like a dog without a head.
Yeah.
They got a camera in it so the cops see what's going on. I don't like that either. I don't want the
I don't
police
either.
doing that either. No.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm anti-tech. I hate technology sometimes. Sometimes. Let me
That's odd to hear somebody from your generation say that,
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
or it's out of the ordinary. Not odd, but out of the ordinary. Well, I guess it could be odd.
right, right. I mean, yeah, it has its uses, but if it was up to me, I would live by candle lanterns and horse plates and the carriages and stuff like that. Like
Hold
that,
on, we ain't gotta go back that far. Let's just go back to the '80s. The '80s were cool. There wasn't a lot of tech then.
maybe the 1880s. Yeah,
Oh my
let's
god. Well, if we really wanted to go down that rabbit hole, they had tech.
You see what I'm saying? We haven't even touched
Allegedly,
that.
allegedly, they had the tech already. They had electric cars. We won't go down that road. But
Write that down though. Write it down because
do you really
I
want to go down
know.
that? We can go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean, even if we don't do it publicly, I'm still interested personally. So definitely write that down. I'm definitely interested
Let's
because
say
that's
what kind of tech was there in the 1880s? And I'm gonna just say 1880s to 1900 because there was a lot.
Yeah.
So
I think 1780 would be too far. Maybe. I mean, I still believe the history of maybe the 1700s, but from 1900s and onward, I question. Well, at least Mama Bear agrees with you. She says the 1980s were awesome.
yeah, 80s were great.
80s music was great.
No,
I would
it's
agree with you
awesome.
that I'm such a 90s 80s music wise. But other than that, I
Well,
go.
we talk about culture warfare, and here's a good example you can look at. In the 50s, they had a certain type of music, a certain style.
Yes.
Same thing in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s.
Right.
You say, hey, we're going to have a 70s party tonight, and it's going to be a dress up. Everybody knows how to dress up.
Yeah,
We're
I love
gonna
that.
have a 50s party this weekend. Everybody knows. But if I say, let's have a 2000 party or a 2010
I could picture
party,
it.
but
Yeah.
it's not as a massive scale.
Right.
From 2001 to 2010, there's not really much defining of that decade, and it's same thing with 2011 to 2020.
Right. Yeah.
There's everything has just been like lumped together, and the music sucks. Most of the music sucks.
Yeah, it's not music anymore. It's just not music
So,
anymore.
but there's a difference. I mean, we're not having that cultural thing that we're used to seeing with the decades. What do y'all think in the chat?
Yeah, definitely. People are saying, like Lisa says, the 80s were the best. We're the generation predominantly fighting for this country.
Pretty much.
Interesting. Fighter of Truth says, personally want the 70s back. The best music, rock concerts were the best. John Marciano says Y2K was the party. Let's see. Dehydrated Nurse says that she loved the 80s and the 90s. Okay. And I know you guys come from that period. You know what I'm saying? So I know that you're like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But me, I just watch my Downton Abbey, my Pride and Prejudice. I'm such a period drama type of person. So I love those times for some reason. It's just peaceful to me.
Well, maybe you existed during that time at one point
Don't
in one of
start
your
with
lives.
me. Don't start.
Maybe
But I do feel connected.
you were. Maybe you were back in. That's a whole another episode.
Yeah, that's definitely that's probably a whole nother show that maybe somebody talks about and they dive into it because I just feel connected to it. But all talking about Epstein, did you see that they erected a bronze statue of
Yes,
Epstein and Donald?
I saw that.
Okay, I mean, I just want to put it out there. I mean, I don't know if anybody else knows this, but
Yeah, I
it was
saw it.
there, and
What was the
I
other
don't
one?
know.
What was the other one that they did? Oh, it had something to do with Trump. There was another one. Or maybe it was Nancy Pelosi, a statue of Nancy Pelosi. I don't know.
Oh no, that was Tina Turner.
No, I can't. There was one that was making fun of somebody back in early 2020. Right? I can't remember what statue it was,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, they do this kind of periodically. They put up statues in that little area, and yeah, they make the memes come alive. I can't remember. I think, yeah.
Whoops,
So
sorry. Okay, so I mean, I did see recently that they put a statue of Tina Turner, and everybody was talking about it because of how disgusting it looks. And I don't know why this keeps happening. Are they doing this on purpose as well? Because I don't think it's that hard to design something nice and to put it, like as a remembrance or a memorial of a superstar or anybody. Or are we being pranked? Like in the real world? Like are they laughing or something? Like is it a joke that I missed?
honestly, just my personal opinion, I think it's just like people putting on performance art, putting up their opinions, making these things.
But you don't remember the Martin Luther King one, and then there was another one that it was just arms like that hugging, and it looked disgusting.
Like a big
Like
turd.
yeah, remember that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like why do they keep doing this? They did a
I
statue
don't,
in New York of a overweight woman, overweight black woman in the middle of Times Square. Like why is this happening?
I don't know. But
Yeah.
they're tearing down our old statues, back when they were doing all that.
Right.
And they're putting up their own things now that they want people to remember it's one of those things
Exactly.
I don't really pay much attention, but I know it's
Yeah.
happening, but it's like whatever.
Okay, I guess so because I don't.
I mean,
It bothers me.
it is freedom of expression.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. You want to memorialize someone, right? Tina was a famous singer. Martin was the civil rights leader. Like you said, they tore down the Robert E. Lee. He was a general, despite the fact that he was for the Confederates. You know what I'm saying? Like, come
Right.
on. Like, it's just a waste of time, in my opinion, and it just gets me upset because it's like, there's bigger and better things we could be doing with our time and our efforts and create something meaningful, but you waste your time with this stuff just for the fun of it. Like,
Well, speaking of wasting time, we could go to the next subject
oh,
if
what's
you're
that?
ready. It would
Okay.
be on our DMs on X, and it's one of the anonymous ones. Glacier Blessing.
Okay, so do you want to say something before we play that clip? What was your opinion when you first saw this?
It's a show. It's all a show. It's all staged for a reason. But yeah, when I saw it, I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's really happening? Seriously?" So, but we'll go there, and then we may end up. Well, then we'll talk about the government shutdown,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then we can go into the second half of the show where we bring in the conspiratorial stuff.
Okay, all right. So this caption says, "The Pope, the Ice Cube, and the Silence of the Martyrs."
They call it a blessing. A pope places his hand on a melting block of ice shipped from Greenland. A glacier's tear staged for the cameras. We're told this is moral leadership. In reality, it's performance art. A ritual meant to sanctify a trillion-dollar industry built on fear. For 50 years, we've heard the countdowns. 10 years to save the planet. Polar bears on ice floes. Flooded cities by 2020. Each prediction quietly fades. each timeline extended, but the funding never stops. Because here's the dirty secret. Most mainstream client science is funded by the same governments pushing carbon taxes and global controls. Professors live on grants. Agencies write the checks. And the easiest way to keep those checks coming is to confirm the crisis. Those who question it are exiled. Judith Curry, former chair of Earth Sciences at Georgia Tech, walked away calling climate science a consensus enforcement machine. Leonard Bankston, one of Europe's leading climatologists, faced such backlash for joining a skeptical think tank, he called it unbearable. And MIT's Richard Lidson said it best. Alarm sells while calm does not. Real science welcomes dissent. This isn't science, it's orthodoxy. But while the Pope partakes in a spectacle, blesses a melting ice cube for the world's cameras, just 25 days ago, 70 Christians were slaughtered in the Congo, shot, hacked with machetes, burned alive, 100 kidnapped, 16 homes erased. The Pope offered prayers, a telegram, no cameras, no ceremony, no global call to action. And that's what's so disappointing, that the leader of the world's largest Christian church could find grandeur in blessing ice, but not urgency in mourning martyrs. Yes, Earth's climate changes. It always has. Over thousands of years, CO2 has been higher, lower. Life has flourished and endured. But this new religion of fear has crowned politicians as prophets and the church as its stage. My friends, we are all anonymous, and we remember what faith was meant to protect.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Amongst our weaponry are such diverse elements as fear, surprise, ruthless efficiency, and almost fanatical devotion to the Pope in a nice red uniform. Oh, damn.
All right, what do you think about that?
So, I don't really have a concrete opinion about the Pope in a religious sense. Okay,
Yeah, right.
I'm still learning about that. All I know is that I don't agree with it. That's all I know. Like even without knowing much about Catholicism, the institution concept, whatever you want to call it, of the Pope bothered me. Then when they do stuff like this, bothers me more. It kind of like validates that gut feeling that I was like, this doesn't look right. It don't feel right. It don't look right.
Yeah, I mean, blessing a block of ice. I mean, what did Trump say in the UN speech, 2 weeks ago? He basically told everybody, hey, this is a green new scam, and if you're going to do it, your country's going to go to hell, financially, basically. So that's what they've been pushing, this climate change stuff, and now you've got the Pope blessing an ice cube in support of it. It makes no damn sense.
Right. But
But they did say that it's the religion of fear. You get everybody scared, that stuff, and they've been doing this stuff since the 50s and 60s. Hell, we did a show on it one time on the round table where we talked about all the different warnings that they gave, and none of them happened. None of them.
Right, but you see, like how dehydrated nurse says holy water. So I understand and I know that they bless other things, right? Like water, right? And to some people that may seem like what? Like the way we're saying, we're confused about the block of ice. So I'm gonna have to dig on this one. You've given me something to ask my what you call them, acquaintances in the church, because that's very interesting.
Yeah, it just looks like he's supporting an agenda that's not beneficial to mankind at all, and it's a freaking hoax, full of money laundering and all that good stuff. What was the second part of that? The second part being, the fact that, this guy is supposed to be the head of the Christian church, but really doesn't say anything about the Christians getting slaughtered in the Congo.
I was just about to say that. It's like, why are you in front of the camera with a block of eyes instead of actually going to that country to
Or do a press conference.
Yeah, or to, I mean, okay.
Or video.
But wouldn't it be so much better if he actually went there in person?
Oh yeah, that'd be yeah.
Hugged them, visited the church that this happened to, prayed for them publicly, do like a global plea for prayers or something. Like that's what, real or fake, I would still appreciate that at least.
I wonder, and this is just how I feel about the hardcore Christians, especially the ones that, continually support the government of Israel. They're like, oh, we got to support these people. This is the Christian thing to do, blah, blah, blah. I would like to ask them, did y'all know anything about Christians being murdered in the Congo?
Right.
Or
Nigeria.
Is an Israeli Christian Jew, whatever. I don't even think I think that's an oxymoron. But are they more important than what are supposed to be your fellow Christians in another country?
Exactly.
And you don't hear anything about it?
Or what about the Christians in China or North Korea?
Yeah.
What about them?
Yeah, they don't say anything. Now there may be somebody out there. There may be a pastor, small town pastor, who maybe knows some of this and talking about it. Maybe that does exist. But on the mainstream, no, I don't think they even know.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to let this one sink. I'm gonna sit on this one. I'm gonna let it sink. I'm gonna ask a couple of people because that is very interesting.
What is the chat saying?
So let's see the chats. So Lisa says the war on Christians has been going on for centuries.
Yep.
Nurse says they treat the Pope like he's God.
Mm-hmm.
Fighter says all organized religions are bad. Personally, I don't believe in a man in the sky being extra W during the 75 BS. Don't need it. Aussie in the middle says, and who is slaughtering those Christians? Good question. So that would be kind of a homework tonight. That's a great question if anybody wants to dive deeper into that story. Your daddy says, send the vice pope. It's sad. And Fighter has commented this more than once that the Spanish Inquisition killed millions in order to convert.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that's another history rabbit hole to go. And I haven't gone down that one yet. So I'm going to write that one for myself as well. Yeah, let's write that down. And Fighter also says, what about the 7 Mountain movement in America who only want a pure white people in America? I haven't heard about the 7 Mountain movement.
I haven't either. I'm writing it down now.
Yep. Okay, we're going to write that down.
7 Mountain movement. Question mark. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Do y'all like that we take notes and come back later and try to bring the information back to y'all?
I do. Let me know what you guys think in the chat because this is the source that I like to dive into. I like to get information from other people. I don't like just Googling it myself, you know, or like just doing it randomly. I like to be in a conversation with somebody in real life or here and hear something or notice something and say, hey, what? Like be genuinely curious into what somebody's saying and then look it up. That's the way I love to look into things. All right, so we did that. Now, because we talked about Sophia and we talked about the AI stuff. If anybody in the chat has seen the movie already, let me know. If you guys saw Mission Impossible, Jimmy has yet to see it, so
Yeah, I went to look for it on TV. I went one place and then it wasn't there, and I didn't check anywhere else. But I do need to watch it. I really want to watch it, so I need to find it.
okay. So we will cut you some slack and give you an extra week to complete that. And for everybody else as well, let me know if you already seen it because I'm gonna play a spoiler, okay? And you could watch it for the fun of it, basically. But this is the spoiler that I'm gonna give for Jimmy because this was the context that I was bringing up the movie in the first place. Was about the information war and about the AI system and everything like that. So, spoiler alert, I'm gonna play this for Jimmy and then let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, so this is basically the mission that was given to Tom Cruise's character. All right, should he choose to accept? Let's watch it.
Good evening, Ethan. This is your president. Since you won't reply to anyone else, I thought I'd reach out directly. First, I want to thank you for a lifetime of devoted and unrelenting service.
Oh, come on.
Were it not for the tireless dedication of you and your team, the Earth would be a very different place.
Damn. Again.
Good evening, Ethan. This is your president. Since you won't reply to anyone else, I thought I'd reach out directly. First, I want to thank you for a lifetime of devoted and unrelenting service. Were it not for the tireless dedication of you and your team, the Earth would be a very different place. It might not even be here at all. Every risk you've taken, every comrade you've lost in the field, every personal sacrifice you made has brought this world another sunrise. It's been 35 years since circumstances brought you to us, and you were given the choice. Since the IMF saved you from a life in prison, and though you never followed orders, you never let us down. You were always the best of men in the worst of times. I need you to be that man now. In the months since you evaded capture in Austria, every corner of cyberspace has been infested by the truth-eating, parasitic AI known to us as the Entity. Under its influence, digital information has been corrupted worldwide. Nations and people no longer know what to believe. Antagonism, aggression, and martial law are the new world order. Exploiting this paranoid atmosphere, the Entity has inspired a doomsday cult with acolytes devoted to ridding the world of corruption through human extinction.
And he said unto Noah, I will bring a flood upon the earth to destroy all
the children
flesh.
of the atom shall rise from the
And the
ashes.
Entity will help them rebuild.
These fanatics are secretly infiltrating every level of law enforcement, government, and our military. devoted to serving their digital master's ultimate goal. Our only hope of controlling the entity relies on finding its original source code. If anyone knows the whereabouts of this code, it's this man. His identity, his past, his very existence have been erased, suggesting he is or was in league with the entity. Austrian authorities have his accomplice in custody, but she has refused to tell us anything. Which brings us back to you. You are in possession of a key, believed to be a vital component in our struggle to acquire the entity's source code. Yet you refuse to come in, fearing any government will weaponize this malicious AI against the rest of the world. Instead, you've resolved to kill the entity, a reckless act that would trigger the total annihilation of cyberspace. This would eradicate the global economy, plunging the world into war and famine without end. Agent Hunt, Ethan, please surrender, or the blood of the world will be on your hands.
Holy crap! I gotta watch that movie.
So when I was watching this, you popped in my head instantly. She's talking about the information, not knowing what's true or not, this entity, fanatics defending the entity, and basically like the fake news, like they believe it all. And it's like turning them against, his team, and they're trying to fight it back. And so basically, spoiler alert, it takes over all the nukes and it turns them on and it launches into different countries. In World War III, everybody dies, right? So it's up to Ethan to save the world. So how do you guys feel about that?
I'm definitely gonna have to watch that. See, the thing is with movies now, it's really hard for me to watch movies because I'm always looking for the Easter eggs or what are they trying to tell us in this scene or whatever. I never can just watch a movie just to be watching it. It's not like that anymore.
So Jimmy, I think we have to pause because they took the stream down. So I think it was a copyright thing.
Okay.
I don't
Are
know.
we-
Do we have to wait?
I don't know. Do we have people in the comment section still?
Yeah, dang it. Oh man. Yep, they took it off. Dang it.
Huh.
Oh, you can still hear me? I can't see you. Can you see me?
Let me go back. Yeah, I can still see you.
I can't see you. Yo, this is crazy. Okay, so Debbie says they'll be back in a couple of minutes if we just wait.
Can you type in the chat?
Okay, yeah, now we're on. We're on. I think we're back on. Are we back on, everybody? Let me know in the comment section. Oh my God. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to leave StreamYard and come back because I can't see nothing on my screen is black.
Okay. All right. Yeah, just send us a new.
Yeah, just stay right here, Jimmy. Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. Can anybody see me? I'm your daddy, deep state, fighter truth. I thought the entity shut you down. I see and hear you both. All right. All right. So I think we're back.
Yes, we're back. You could see me. I could see you. Everything's good.
Let me see. Yeah, I can see you now. Okay. All right. That was weird.
It was the copyright. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, they'll probably take it off, and but at least you guys got to see it. Whoever was here live had it live.
So the entity is watching us.
Oh man, and the whole movie is about this AI enemy, right? It's like it's a fake enemy. I mean, it's not real. You know what I'm saying? Like he has to capture this entity and from the source and then like delete it or destroy it or some, I don't know what the heck it is. It was a great movie, don't get me wrong, but that whole plot, it bothered me. If it I didn't like it, honestly. And then the president is a black woman, like I told you already. They're starting with that crap now. So it just bothered me. It bothered me. How about you when you were listening to it?
I
What
was
did you
getting
decide?
into it. I was really getting into it. I was like, okay, I really got to watch this because this is like right up my alley. Right up my alley.
Exactly.
Because did you watch Some of All Fears?
Yes, that was
Yeah.
a great movie.
Yeah. So this is kind of what it's reminding me of.
Yeah.
So I like movies like that. So all right. So we played. Okay. So let's go over. Let's switch gears. Go to the our DMs on X, and let's look for
Okay.
the one by Melissa Redpill, and then we're gonna discuss. I think it's another anonymous thing, but
Oh,
talking about
is this conspiracy? Should I play
no,
my?
not yet. No,
Not
this is
yet.
about the
Okay.
check. Yeah, so this is legit stuff. This ain't conspiracy yet. So
Okay.
after this, we're gonna get into the conspiracy stuff.
Okay. All right. So I have to share my screen. You see, guys, if you don't watch live with us, you're not gonna have all the fun of the stream getting blocked, of us having technical issues. So if you're watching from the future, you're probably gonna get skipped to this part.
Are we witnessing one of the biggest political blunders in congressional history? Senate Democrats refused to pass a continuing resolution, a routine measure that keeps government open while negotiations continue. Instead, they chose a shutdown. Led by Chuck Schumer, but forced by the radicals in his party, they believed this would hurt President Trump. But here's the mistake. When the government shuts down, funding authority for programs and agencies expires. Contracts are suspended. And in that moment, the president and his budget director decide which functions are essential and which are not. That means President Trump now has the power to decide which Democrat-controlled programs are restarted and which are erased. And once something is cut, Congress cannot simply flip a switch to bring it back. They must reappropriate funds, hold votes, and fight uphill battles. The Democrats don't have the votes. So what looked like a tactical play may turn out to be their greatest strategic disaster. They gave Trump the very tool he needed to slash programs they've guarded for decades, legally, and with the full authority of the shutdown. The only question now is whether these cuts will be temporary or permanent. This is what happens when arrogance meets strategy. This is how history turns. My friends, we are all anonymous. We see the game for what it is.
When I dance, I do the Macarena. Shake it on my trailer campaign. They all love me because I'm wanting, and every black American wants me. Votes for me, Joe just beat on himself the third time this week. Votes for me, Joe just beat on himself the third time this week.
I think Hakeem has been right on in terms of it. I wish more people would be aware of it, and you're the ambassadors to the public, so hopefully you'll cover his greatness and all.
Speaker Emerita, there was a thought from the Republicans that AOC is directing this, and she said that senators are welcome to go to her office directly. Is she driving that?
Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing?
I'm just quoting what AOC said. She said go to her office directly.
And I saw some Republican members of Congress saying, oh, well, if we have this shutdown, it's because of AOC. Well, if that's the case, my office is open and you are free to walk in and negotiate with me directly.
Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing?
Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did.
Just the last part was funny.
Yeah, that probably is gonna get taken down too because of the music. So it's like everything we try to do, YouTube isn't gonna allow us. So
So, what did you take from the government shutdown today? Did it explain more to you what's going on?
Yeah, actually, I totally agree with it. Actually, I'm actually happy that there's
Oh
a
yeah.
shutdown and there's going to be, I mean, hopefully this would be the moment that they do that. Exactly what it was talking about, kind of cleaning up and, not putting, putting back what they actually want to put back, that he has the power to reinstitute whatever was taken off.
Yeah, after if the government shut down for 61 days, then whatever programs that they defund or eliminate, that's permanent.
Okay, right.
So we'll see if the government stays shut down that long. And I know they keep trying to say, or at least the mainstream media and the people out there that don't understand what's going on in this world keep trying to say, "Oh, the Republicans have shut it down." No, it wasn't the Republicans that shut the CR, the continuing resolution. The CR that they have was pretty much the same one that the Democrats did vote on to approve 13 times during the Biden administration. So it's nothing new. The Democrats they're pissed because of what Doge did, cut funding for their programs, cut USAID, they cut money for healthcare for illegals, all this stuff. And that's what they're fighting. That's what they want back. That's what the public is being sold right there. So, but behind the scenes, like we talked last week, just to recap, is they're thinking that if ICE agents and Border Patrol agents aren't getting paid, they're not going to show up at their job. The kicker is when the government does reopen, as long as those agents did what they were supposed to do, they will get their back pay. Now, if they do so what they know the judiciary, they're trying to stop the deportation of illegal immigrants. So they know by going through the judiciary, that hasn't been working for them. So they figured, hey, let's try this. And that way, if they're not getting paid, they're just going to stop deporting people. Well, that's going to fail too. In the meantime, Trump has this power legally and constitutionally to be able to cut these programs.
Yeah, he's finally using the law and the Constitution to his favor to get things done. Because the other side, I kind of felt like that's what they would do. They would weaponize things like that, or they would use a loophole or something. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why do those loopholes still exist after 50 something years? After 40 something years?
And they try to say, and this is one thing people don't understand. Well, the Republicans have the majority. They could just open back up the government. Not in this particular situation, because you need 60 votes for it to pass. There's only 53, so there needs to be 7 Democrats that vote to reopen the government. They need 60 votes. So a lot of people forget that. They just say, well, the Republicans have the majority. Why can't they just open up the government? Well, that's not how, that's the way democracy works.
Right.
But what you're seeing here is how the Republic is supposed to work.
Good point. So really quickly, want to play this clip for, this was posted on X a few hours ago, saying that the White House just announced that the Women and Children's Food Program will not be cut off while the government is shut down. President Trump is taking care of the women and children of this country.
Thomas, breaking moments ago, more than $200 billion coming into the coffers in tariffs, and now we're learning where some of that money will go. The White House has just announced that the Women and Children Food Program will not be cut off while the government is shut down. Some of the money will go to make sure that that program is kept up and running, according to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. We will see you back here tomorrow with more of the story.
Here's another lesson that the American people are getting right now, too. Tariffs. He just said tariffs are going to fund this.
And we spoke about this in season 1 of the Unrelenting Political Corner, and we did a whole video about the
Yeah.
finances and how it works, how it runs, what this means for our country, the decision that was made to put those tariffs on these countries, and I've noticed it, and this is just another proof.
So all these people that are saying, "Oh, well, shutting down the government is going to hurt the American citizen." Okay, all right. Well, these programs, how are they being funded? They're being funded by the taxpayers.
Right.
So by shutting the government down and Trump being able to do what he's doing, taking tariff money to fund these programs, that means that the American taxpayer isn't getting charged for it.
Right, which is a good thing. And you know what? Let's talk about that, because it's really weird, my political spectrum, because I actually do believe in socialist programs like that for citizens. Okay, let me clarify that, right? I think honestly that every American should be entitled to the WIC, to the SNAP, to the Medicaid, Medicare, to any program that gives basically our money right back to us for healthcare, for food, for housing, like Section 8 programs, public housing program. All of those vouchers, whatever it is, should be given to us. And it should be just for citizens, working class people who actually have a job and actually have families.
Yeah, I've never had to live off the government or anything like that. But I know folks, dear friends, that have had to because of their situation and everything. And if people really need the help and the assistance, they should be able to get it, because it is taxpayer funded money at the moment. Hell, Doge found out where all of our tax dollars were, or the majority of our tax dollars were going to. We talked about that. Circumcisions for people in one country, transgender classes in another. All our that money needs to come back to the citizens. And
But you see, Jimmy, I don't think it should just be given to people who need it or who are financially below the poverty line. I think every American citizen should be entitled to get that money back, regardless of if you're poor.
I'll take it a step further. I think every American citizen that has paid taxes ever
Right.
should get all that money back.
Yes.
Every tax dollar that you've paid in, federal, personal property tax, any of that should all come back to you. Because as we have seen and shown through this show, that there has been a criminal syndicate running the United States and robbing the American taxpayer.
Exactly. But
So,
okay.
I mean, it's kind of two different things, but but I see what you're saying. If we're paying into the system, we should be able to get something back, and it should come back to us. I get that. I just took it a step.
I mean that it shouldn't be advertised to either people who are under the poverty line, or that because you have to be dependent on the government, like that stigma or that mentality that you're not independent, or like you're not working for yourself. It's like it should be to us. We should be entitled to that. The government should be taking care of us.
But let me ask you this, Ruby. Let me push back a little bit on that. Where does it say in the Constitution that that's the government's responsibility?
Okay, I get it, which is why I said before that my political spectrum it swings a lot, because I do believe in the idea of like socialist programs like that, because that's basically what it is. But you see, it is targeted to poor people. It is targeted to single mothers or teen mothers, or you know what I'm saying, like people who actually need it. I get that's actually a good thing. I'm just saying, like, I'm in support of it. I'm just saying that it shouldn't just be for those types of people. It should be for all of us. It should come back to us.
I think if our country is being ran constitutionally, financially, economically, everything like that, I don't think we would have the issues with
Exactly.
needing those programs. It's like
Exactly.
they've created a problem, like we
And the
talked about
solution.
before.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
We're sorry that you have to go to, both of your parents have to go to work, and so we're going to give you some child tax credits to help out with your daycare.
Right. But you
Wait,
see,
but wait a second. If you know, if I wasn't being robbed and inflation wasn't sky high,
exactly.
we don't need one income, and we wouldn't need that, so we wouldn't need the child tax credit, so we could have our kids at home. So yeah,
I'm a yes on both sides. I believe in both sides because you know what? When I had to make use of those programs, I was 18 and I had a 1-year-old. So I was a teen mom, right? And I remember, and this is what really opened my eyes too. I wasn't political. I was like, brainwashed still and everything, right? I was green, right? I was a square. I went into the local WIC office in New York City. I was the only English speaking American citizen in that office. And that's when my eyes were opened. I'm sitting there, nobody is speaking English. And there was a lot of people there. It was like 20, 30 people with a bunch of children. It it was it was not a good experience. And that's when those seeds started to plant that why am I in my own country seeking, benefits like I'm struggling or whatever, right? And I have a baby. Those benefits, those services should be for the women like myself at that time who couldn't work or provide for themselves, whatever the case may be. And you know how they help you get jobs, they give you lots of resources. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying is that those same services was being expanded to literally different nations. They come to this country, they don't even know English, and yet they get approved. They get the WIC checks, they get the EBT cards, they get everything, and they can't even speak English.
Well, with the government shutdown, that's what the Democrats want. $1 trillion to go toward illegal immigrants' health care.
Exactly.
For the people watching the show tonight, how much is your premium on health insurance? What's your deductible?
Exactly. And we're in this business, the insurance. I talk about this stuff all the time with people too. And it's sad how the hardworking people still get the short end of the stick, no matter no way you put it, it doesn't matter. Because the working class, the working people are still gonna get nothing. Nothing. And I'm sick and tired of that.
So they want to take the hardworking Americans, our tax dollars, and fund healthcare for all these illegal aliens. That's bullshit.
Right. And it will never stop there. What's the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So you see, I am now 28. That happened to me when I was 18, right? 10 years ago that happened to me. Do we see a change? Did it get better or did it get worse?
It's gotten worse. But
I'm
looking for the silver lining in the cloud. I like the fact that Trump came out and said that tariffs were going to fund this.
Right.
Okay, if tariffs are funding it, okay, for American citizens, all right, I'm cool with that because my taxpayer dollar ain't paying for it.
Exactly. So that was a moment for me. That was a moment that most likely shaped my politics, 10 years later, because I remember that. I remember how disturbing that experience was. And that's not the only office. I mean, New York City is the DMV. It's doctors, even the doctors. You could barely understand your doctor if your doctor is from a different country. You could barely understand people when you call your bank or T-Mobile or something. You could barely understand English with this. And that's my problem.
Again, going back to the cultural erosion. So
Yeah.
But with the government shutdown, I think it was $8 billion or 80 billion. I can't remember if it was 8 or 80 dollars slashed that was going towards the Green New Scam. And there's like 17 different states that will not be getting Green New Scam money. So
Yeah.
again, our taxpayer dollars was going to fund all that, fund all this other stuff. And then what does the American citizen get?
Nothing.
So that's what we're fighting, folks. What's the chat say about that little section of the show?
Let's see. Joseph says that Jesse is correct about social services for starving people during the Great Depression. Today, you see people driving a late model Mercedes with food stamps.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Sorry, that's the other thing. The abuse of the system. You got people out. I mean, people going out there. Some of them are literally just having kids so they can get more money from the government.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have people out there that are, let's say they get $2,000 a month in food stamps. They will go and say, "Hey, Ruby, I got $2,000 worth of food stamps. I'll give you $500 of my food stamps if you just give me $300. And then they'll take that $300 and go get their damn hair and nails done.
I know.
That's ridiculous. That needs to stop.
Yeah, and you know what? It is it's a different kind of I don't know how to I don't want to say like anger or upset, but it's different when you grow up in it. It's different when you come from that. Like my whole family comes from public housing, from using public assistance and things of that nature. So when you actually come from that and then you see other people abusing the system, like you just explained, when you see other nations coming to this country and making use of it, that will never happen. If I went to a different country, try to get public housing in that country and try to get free healthcare in that country, when I don't even know their language, I can't even get a job. How would I ever be able to sustain myself in another country? But I'm just there having babies and living by myself or whatever, just so that I could use the system. So you see, that's what gets me. At the same time, people like myself who grew up like that, they stay stuck in that system because they don't see nothing better for themselves. So you stay stuck in the comfort and the fake illusion of security that you're gonna get food stamps every month, you're gonna have food, or you have a place to live because they're never gonna kick you out, or you have the vouchers, you have this, you have. So it creates that false sense of security even for us. So it's like I understand both sides. All I'm saying is that it shouldn't be open for everybody. It should only be open for a certain category, and you at least have to be a citizen and speak English. Like that's the least that I would expect from my own country. So anyways,
anything else in the chat?
Linda's in the chat. She says to please share the link. So I'm going to share the link if anybody wants to join, because we're going to move on to the conspiracy side of the show. Let's see. And that's why I really do hate when they take taxes out of our paychecks and you start seeing all these marks. Oh, $100 here, $100 there, $100. I was like, hold up a second. And you know how everybody has their first job and they wake up to that? I couldn't believe that in the state of New York, they literally took half or more than half of our paychecks working in New York for the taxes, and that was $500 to $900.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Every week, and that was just one of us working. Imagine the millions of people in New York getting half of their check taken. So
Yep.
Linda just joined us. Hi, Linda.
Hey, Linda.
Hello. Hi. There
Mhm.
was a couple of things I wanted to bring up about you were stating that Democrats wanted to give illegal aliens health care. And everything that I've studied and looked into says that somebody that is not a citizen does not qualify for, let's say, Medi-Cal. But if they do show up in a emergency room, let's say they get, injured at work or whatever, they will take them in an emergency room. So that's already the way it is now, but they're not being granted Medi-Cal. They don't qualify for it. They do get WIC, but they don't get food stamps. And WIC is something that, Ruby probably knows. It's more so for young mothers. It will distribute formula, some juices, a few things like that for small children, especially nursing mothers. So it helps to keep the mother healthy as well.
Ruby, can you search for a clip? It was at a Democratic debate where they were asked, would your platform give health care to illegals? Please raise your hand. See if you can find that.
So can you guys still hear me? Because I think I'm glitched.
I can hear you, yes.
I can hear you.
Okay, so my computer completely glitched. I can't see nothing.
Yeah, you're
no.
frozen, but I can hear you.
Okay, so let me come back.
Okay. Ever since the screen went wonky when we were watching Mr. Tom Cruise, you guys had to do a little hop, skip, and a jump to get back in. I hope her computer is okay though. After
Yeah,
that.
I don't know what happened. Hopefully she can find this because it's very telling about what the Democratic platform has been and where they stand on healthcare for illegal immigrants.
And about tariffs, I think I'll wait for her to come back. Shows that she's here, but is she here? Are you here, Miss Ruby?
Yeah, her screen's still frozen.
Okay.
And I can't continue on with the rest of the show.
Right.
Oh, now she's completely gone and I don't see her.
She'll come back in. I'm pretty
So
sure.
let's look for the comments. Let's see if there's anything. Fighter of Truth says Texas doesn't have WIC anymore, which is a bad. Many children go without. This is not true. There were several people on Medicaid. Okay. That's just my understanding. I think my biggest argument, Linda, is, instead of getting pigeonholed on, nursing mothers or emergency rooms, instead of getting pigeonholed on that, I look at the overall picture and I know that our tax dollars are being wasted on, she's back. Our tax dollars are being wasted on programs that do not benefit the American citizen. So,
and I disagree with you on that.
Really?
And if you're going to bring up a subject, I'm here to talk about it with you. And then if you go into, I don't want to pigeonhole, I'm experiencing like you're kind of not wanting to touch the subject and gathering it all together. Am I reading that wrong?
I'm willing to touch the subject. I was just letting you know that I'm thinking bigger on it.
Me too.
I'm thinking bigger on it. Ruby, welcome back. Did you have a chance to find that clip?
Is it from the 2020 primary?
I think so.
Okay, so let's watch it. Let me see. Okay, I got it.
This is it.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
So as you've seen there, that was a Democratic primary, and she asked the question, would your government plan basically allow for that to happen? And every one of them raised their hand in affirmation of that. How are they going to fund it? With taxpayer dollars.
And has that happened? You're claiming it has. I'm claiming it has not. That's our disagreement.
Okay. So,
yes.
let me ask you this.
They might have said they were for that and that they would do that, but that doesn't mean it's actually happened. Or that's actually the case.
That's fair. Let me push back on that a little bit. Sure. How much money did illegal, undocumented migrants, illegal aliens, or whatever you want to call them, how many of them got food stamps in New York during the Biden migration thing? How much money were they receiving in food stamps? How many months were they allowed to stay in hotel rooms and not have to pay a dime? And who was paying for their 3 meals a day?
So it sounds like you're asking me about something that was going on during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, that was during pandemic time. When Joe took over, we were at the height of the pandemic. So things were going on for quite a few years in pandemic situations, just like Trump was, getting things ready, Operation Warp Speed or something for the, whatever we're going to call it. That thing that was going to be available. Some people felt it was forced. Some people volunteered for it. That. And then when Joe Biden took office, we were still in the middle of that.
Okay, so in all fairness, Linda, what I'm presenting to you has nothing to do with the pandemic. For what I'm saying,
well,
I'm saying that these illegal aliens that crossed the border illegally were shipped to different cities, and these cities' programs were funding their groceries, funding their housing and food, everything, and their health care. That happened just within the last 3 years.
So what?
My question is, who paid for it?
Well, let me see if I understand the context, because I'm relating this to a time of pandemic. You're saying that's beside the point, and you're letting me know that a certain amount of people that were undocumented came over here and were getting all these benefits.
Correct.
That my research says they don't get. So you're asking me how many people that was. I'm not familiar with how many people that was. I have heard, I haven't read up to fact check it, that, things were set up for Haitians because of the troubles that they were having where they were at to come over here. I don't know if that was done on a basis of, what is that called when they escape a country because of what is it, persecution?
Asylum.
I don't know if that was an asylum setup. I don't know. I can't tell you. What I do know is how things were set up during the pandemic. People, like homeless people, were getting hotels rooms. They called it turnkey here in California. And Newsom got on TV and said, because they didn't want the homeless to all be bundling up together with catching this thing and spreading so much because of this, the idea of the curve. They were talking about the curve all the time. And that represented too many people catching it at one time and then entering the hospitals. And our history from like 1917 with the Spanish flu, at that time, people were in the hallways of hospitals and doctors couldn't keep up with it. And some died of it, which happened this time too, but they were trying to keep that curve down. Like if you discovered you
but that was before, Linda. Yeah, that was 2020 and before. We're talking about.
Are you discounting it? Are you
no, that happened when the border was definitely wide open and the COVID was still going on. We're talking about way later, like 2023, 2022, 2024, especially in New York City. They had the whole hotel rented out for free on the state's dime. That was the city's dime.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah,
I just know
that's
that,
what we're
I just
talking
know
about
that my
here.
research says that if somebody's undocumented, they do not qualify for Medi-Cal. They'll
They may not
qualify if
they may
show
not
up.
legally qualify, but they're getting money somehow.
I don't know about
Right.
the situation that Ruby's talking about. Some
Ruby,
hotel that's
Ruby, can
full
you
of
do us? Sorry,
undocumented. I just haven't found that in my research. I couldn't tell
I,
you
I
how many people. I do know about that apartment building that was 6 stories high that I showed up at the end of last month.
Sorry, Linda. I think there's a time delay, and I started to say something, and you're not done, so I apologize. I don't mean to interrupt you at all. Ruby, can you do just a quick search? How much taxpayer dollars did illegal immigrants get in New York? See what comes up. And Linda, this is what we're talking about: is the waste of the American tax dollar. That's what we're talking about, and who's benefiting from our hard work, and it's not the American citizen.
Okay, so this article from the New York Post is kind of like the first thing that popped up on Google for me. Was posted August 14, 2024. So yeah, this was going on 2024. Let's see. New York City migrant crisis costs will crack eye-popping $5 billion on shelters, security, and food. Amount could double by 2025.
So $5 billion being spent.
That's just New York City.
That's just New York City.
And they're claiming it's for undocumented people.
Yep, that's it.
Right. So it's 1.98 billion on housing and rent, about 2 billion on services and supplies, nearly 500 million on food and medical costs, and another 5 million on IT, administrative and other costs. So the NYPD alone has spent $21 million on public safety and security costs in the city, and the cost of the crisis equals nearly the entire NYPD budget of 5.75 billion. And that's why Eric Adams had to take away funding from the NYPD and the fire department because they were funding these illegals at the Roosevelt Hotel for free. And
So
we
these
did
are
speak about that in season 1.
the fire. I mean, this is the police department funding this. It's
they had to use their own budget just for the crisis. Forget about the city. It was just for that crisis because they were overboard with the illegals in the city.
And they were pulling money from the budget that was allotted
for the police. Gotcha.
For the police. They were pulling money away. And so,
that's
yeah,
kind
now
of like what California does when we have quite, a lot, and our funding will go to other states here in the U.S. as well. It's kind of like that. Yeah.
So that $5 point some billion, where did they get that money from? Who funded that?
I think you just, if you're still talking about the same subject, I'm hearing you say it came from the police department, and before it came to the police department, it came from the government. Yes, so much money was allotted for that. The city.
The city.
How did the city? How did the city get the money? That's what I'm asking.
You got done telling me it came from the police department.
No. Hold on. I think we're
up because I'm confused and I'm lost.
Okay, so so
I'm like, where are we at?
All right, so let's start over real quick.
Okay,
all right,
sure.
The city has a budget, right?
Yes.
Where do they get the money for the budget?
Is that not from the federal government?
No. Now, the federal government could probably send some money in, depending on who's in office. But
from the taxpayers,
exactly. So when I pay my property tax, which is $2,145 this year, I pay that to the county, and the county takes that $2,000 that I pay in, and they put it in their budget. Now they have a budget, and they go to their little city managers and say, okay, what programs do we need to fund? Well, we got the fire department, we got the school, we got the police. Well, in New York, they actually had this migrant crisis of undocumented workers come in, and they're like, the city got together and they're like, holy crap, guys, we got to be able to fund this. How are we going to do this? So let's pull some money from the fire department and the police department and fund this. So the point is, those people should not be getting the funding. It should still stick with the fire department. It should still stick with the police department. And it's coming from the American taxpayer. So when we say the American taxpayer is paying for these migrant crises, that is true.
Well, I'm being informed of something I'm not aware of.
Okay.
This whole, I'm not aware of it. In my research, it was confirmed that those who are undocumented are not getting Medi-Cal or food stamps or qualify for the income. If there are other situations, I'm not aware of them at this point. But that if they go into the emergency room, they will get care. That's what my research has told me.
Okay, so your
showed a video that said if they were elected, would they promote, health care for those that are undocumented? Let me just ask, do they consider health care as only an emergency room visit?
No.
Or do they consider health care as Medi-Cal or whatever it's called in whatever state? I'm not clear on that either. Like we showed something earlier tonight that said Trump was not going to take away something from mothers, but it didn't say the name of the program. So I'm not sure what exactly that means. Does that mean he's not taking away WIC? You see what I'm saying? I'm not clear on some things.
Yeah. So let me address that healthcare question. We all know if you go to the emergency room, they're going to see you. Okay. But that's just one aspect of healthcare. And the reason I can speak to this with 100% certainty is because my wife worked at the county health department, which is funded by taxpayers. And there were women coming into the health department, the woman's health department, who were undocumented workers. They were refugees, and they were asking for an IUD to be put in, or a Mirena to be put in, or whatever they do for women's health care. So these devices that cost $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, they're being put in people for their health care that aren't even American citizens.
Are you talking about a hospital, or are you talking about a medical?
I'm talking about the county health, like a county health department.
Health department. There is places that are sometimes mistaken as only an abortion place that also does gynecological care in other areas. And if it was something similar to that, or if where your wife was had a portion of that place where she worked that did that, then people that are undocumented might be able to go in there and ask for an IUD.
No, it was not an abortion. It was not. It was a regular county health department for women, where they could go get physicals, they could get family planning. Why is my taxpayer dollars paying for that?
They show their Medi-Cal cards. I mean, or whatever it's called in.
Some of those departments you don't even have to do that.
No,
those are the places where you get like vaccines, you get your birth certificate printed, you get your stuff. You can look up, like you can go for a regular checkup, because they provide free services. And that's what Jimmy's saying. They just walk up in there and they take advantage of those services because they can. And those are in some states where more services are given for free than others. More conservative states won't have those services available just for anybody. You can't just walk into the health department and get that in some
you had women going in and getting a device put in that would be like $1,000, and this device would be good for like 2 or 3 years. But they would come in and say, hey, I want this out because now I want to have a baby and then I'll come back in next year and I'll get it put back in. When those devices are,
Okay, go ahead. Those
so
devices are.
when those devices are well over $1,000 a piece, but to them it was free.
Okay.
Yeah, to them it was free, so they don't really care how many devices they put in, take out, because it's free. It's being offered to them when our taxpayer dollars are paying for that.
Okay, so the argument is whether they're whether they have Medi-Cal or not, it's our taxpayers' dollars that are going towards those that are undocumented. You are aware that those that are undocumented workers also pay taxes through another means, not through a Social Security card, but as some kind of documentation number.
Some of them do, some of them don't.
Correct. Some of them do, some of them don't. But what I'm saying is us that are citizens are not the only ones paying into the system. And I'm saying that there are undocumented workers that also pay into the system, and they will never see that money again when it comes time for them to be on Social Security, like those of us that are citizens. So they're also bringing money in there as well, is what I'm stating.
Not enough, because the majority of Americans are the ones who are paying into it. So even if they did pay into it, it wouldn't scratch the surface of
Not
the
enough.
expenses.
The majority.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. It wouldn't even scratch the
What can I
surface.
say to that? What can I say to that? You know, because I can tell you the same thing opposite. And what can you say? Like,
Well, because there's
it's just
more
being,
citizens that are actually working, though.
And
there's
also too,
more
with
citizens that are actually working. Is that what you said?
There's more American citizens that are putting money into the pool than there are of the undocumented.
Undocumented? Okay.
Right, because there's more Americans. It's just population wise, there's more of us than there is of them. So
Okay.
even if they did pay into the system, it wouldn't even cover the tip of the iceberg with the expenses, because that's how much of a crisis it is in America.
there's another
You can
aspect
say
to this
that
too.
it's not enough and you can discount it, but the fact is they are putting money into it. That's my point, that they are putting money into it as well. So it is not only us who are citizens, is what I'm
That
saying.
might be the case. That might be the case
That
if they're actually getting a paycheck, but there's a lot of them out there that get paid in cash under the table.
Exactly.
I'm not
that's another
speaking
thing.
of those. That's a different subject, and I'm not
And
speaking of them.
and then we can look up, Ruby, how much money is sent out of the country by undocumented workers to their home country,
And what would be the problem with this?
because they're not putting it into the American system.
Right. So you're taking the American dollars out of the circulation. You're sending it to another country. So that alone also steals it away from our country.
Yep.
And our resources. So if
they've earned it from doing whatever they've done and they have family, I don't see how they would
But what if that
prioritize
person
unfamily over family. It's one of those things that if they have to send it back to a third world kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
It's not wrong. It's
that's
the act is
understandable.
not
That's
wrong in
always
itself.
happened.
Yeah,
Then why is it
that's
being
not
brought
wrong,
up?
but because it still ruins our economy. It still ruins it. It's for this country. So even though it's not necessarily a bad thing to do that, they may very well earn a respectable wage on the table, and they send money back to their families. Okay, great. It'll still hurt a pinch, but it's not as bad as the ones who get paid under the table through cash, and they send it on top of that outside of the country, and they still take resources, the free resources that are supposed to be for people that are below poverty line. They still take advantage of that on top of everything.
That's a good point,
Since
Ruby.
we don't want abortions, going in for an IUD for $1,000 helps them not give birth to 4 more kids within the next 4 years, which usually an IUD would stay put for maybe 3 to 4 years, and it's supposed to be removed at that time. And if they choose to have a child, then yes, they'll leave it out. If they choose to continue with an IUD, a new one would be replaced. Now, within the pro-life argument, an IUD is considered like a Christian would not get an IUD because it manipulates the womb to think there already is an implant, that there already is an egg there. So because it's a manipulation so that eggs will be released and not fertilized.
Right.
So it helps them not get pregnant.
Right.
A matter of fact, that's what Hobby Lobby was about a few years back when they did not want to pay for IUDs for the people that worked for them because it went against the conscience of the owners. They did not, it went against their conscience. So they did not want any of their employees to get an IUD because it went against their conscience. Yes.
Yep. Correct.
So isn't it helpful that they're not having babies then?
I mean, it's like the least of
3
our
or 4
problems
more?
at this point.
In
That's
my
like the
opinion,
least of the problems,
isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
the thing?
If a woman doesn't want to have one and she does, that, I don't have a problem with it. But the problem that I have, Linda, in this situation, what we're talking in context here, is them abusing the system and taking advantage of these free devices at a whim whenever they want to. A girl could put a new one in. You said supposed to last 3 to 4 years, but she changes her mind, wants to have a baby. Okay, that's all fine and well. But then she shows up right after having the baby, gets another one put in, and they're just using the system. That's the point. And that's the point.
It's not about the choices they make. I could care less whether or not they want a family plan. The point is the expenses and who's paying for it, and that's
Exactly.
that's the county, that's the taxpayer, that's the state, and then on a federal level, it just gets worse and worse. So when you start looking at your local community and you start seeing the migrant crisis, it's no joke. They are stealing the resources from you as a citizen in that county, in that city, in that town, and then a grander scale, that state, then the feds, and then you already see what we've seen. And that's why I left New York City, because it's overflowing. It's too much. They can't even pay for their own. They were taking money from the pool that they needed for the police to cover the crisis because they couldn't feed them. They couldn't house them. They didn't even have money to do it. And then they start asking the federal government for money. And then that's when the president says, no, I'm not going to send you this money. And then, the mayor already got voted out. like this is how these things go all the time.
The last point that I want to make on this subject, and then we can move into conspiracy stuff. I wanted to drive the point home that Ruby said. You got these undocumented, illegal alien, migrants, whatever. Some of them are getting paid under the table. Okay. They don't pay anything in taxes, nothing. I know this for a fact because I see it with companies that I work with here in North Carolina. They're paying these people underneath the table. Then
and some of us citizens get that as well.
But I'm talking about the migrant workers at the moment. So then they take this money and then they send it back to their home country, and then they come and ask for free services. So they need help with their rent. They need food stamps. They send money out, and then they take advantage of the free services when they had the money to begin with, but they just sent it back home. So they're double dipping. That's not cool.
Yeah, if they're getting paid under the table, they could qualify for these programs.
Exactly.
If they're getting paid over the table, they would not qualify for these programs.
Correct.
Just like the rest of us, we wouldn't be able to qualify if you make over a certain amount of money because that's what you're claiming on your taxes. But they're not, because they're either getting paid in cash or they won't give the correct amount that they're getting paid when they do go to pay their taxes. And there's no way to regulate that because there's just so much fraud. Unless it's a big enough crime, fraud, tax fraud, or whatever, that they get caught. But usually those things don't really happen. And they stay in this country for 20, 30, 40 years. And they continue to use the system in the way that they know how to. And in reality,
I'm not saying that nobody that's undocumented doesn't do that. But you were talking like about HUD housing or Section 8.
Right.
You have to get on a waiting list. That waiting
Yep.
list could be from, usually when you sign up for something like that, they tell you at
Yeah.
least 2
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
It
It
could
takes
take up
years.
to 8
Mhm.
years to qualify. So
Yep.
it's not like they just show up at the door and walk out with a, what do they call that, a voucher. It's
Right, but there are
it,
certain circumstances, and I've seen people do this in real life. They will claim domestic violence, and they will claim anything, and they will beat the system by using a loophole, and they'll get an apartment by Friday with their kids, and then they will bring their man on Saturday. And it happens to
then we
thousands of people,
don't
and
get
they
those places where they bring in domestic victims, like in, like, what are they, like, what's the other
yeah,
word
they
for it?
they
In
use the
between
system. They
houses, in
Yeah, they
between
they will get
houses,
the police
halfway
report. They will
houses.
use they would use the
Domestic,
system,
I
and
know of
yep,
them
they would.
being sent to halfway houses rather than they get an apartment next week. That's what I've come to learn.
Well,
Not that
in New
they
York
qualify
City,
for
it's
HUD.
easy. In New York City, it's easy, and I've been in those situations, and I've seen people like that. I've seen it, been there, done that, and that's why I know it exists. And unfortunately, they abuse the system as well, and they do get caught, and they lose their apartments, and they lose their benefits. Not
What do they
everybody
get caught
cuts through,
with?
but some cut through.
What do they get caught with?
Well, like if like in that scenario, if she claimed domestic abuse and she got this free apartment and basically pays zero in rent or whatever the case may be, and they catch the husband or boyfriend or whatever, you will lose your apartment. If you don't follow the rules, you will lose your apartment. If you don't get a job, you will
What
lose your
happens when they
EBT.
catch the supposed abuser? Like, I'm trying to
Well,
understand
they
what
they
changes
they
the
just
situation, because you've seen it, right?
well, that's what I'm saying.
What do
So
they
in certain
do? They ask the
situations,
husband, "Did you
when those
bang her
things
head up against
happen.
the wall?"
Well,
Mhm.
I don't know specifically. I wasn't there in person to see how it happens. I'm saying when
Okay.
women lie and they get the benefits and they use the system, when they get
Mhm.
caught, they lose those benefits.
Yeah,
But
that's the
some of
thing. How
them
do they
don't
get
lose their
caught?
benefits, and right.
Yeah.
So there is a system in place, and I'm sure that people, they do their due diligence and they do their research and they give it to people who actually need it. That's great. But we're talking about the people who abuse that system and in turn
Okay.
abuse the
We're
the
only
money.
talking about those that
That's
abuse. Okay. So I'm
well,
everything I'm
that's
adding
what
isn't even
happens.
in this subject
We're
then, is
just
it?
talking about the reality of the situation. It happens, and unfortunately, in the state of New York and in New York City and any other state that provides those services, it happens. And when it does happen, they lose their benefits, and the women who and the people who the families who actually need it, they get it, which is a good thing. That's why I said long ago that I was on both sides. I say yes to
Mhm.
both. Those services
Right.
should be available for the people who actually need it, for American citizens who do pay into taxes, not for
Right.
people who are not of those qualifications. So I'm on both sides. I say
And
yes
that's
to
why I
both.
mentioned the people that paid taxes earlier.
Right. Good
Yeah.
good for them. Good for them that they pay, that they do, that they are law abiding residents or natural citizens, whatever. Good on them that they come to this country and they do well. But what we've seen in the past few years is not that. That is not the case what we've seen. We've seen the border wide open, literally people running into this country and
So
abusing the system.
are you saying that everything I brought up is not the case? That I brought up tonight is not the case?
It may be the case, but what have we seen
Okay.
in 2024? They sent them on buses from Texas, from the border, and they shipped them to sanctuary cities and depleted the money that was supposed to be there as sanctuary cities, and they support that. But what happened? There was hundreds of illegals that used that system and literally sucked them dry. And now the city had to take money out of the PDs and any other department for emergency services and take it away from emergency services and use it for the sanctuary programs that they provide. That's not fair. That's not
Because they abuse the system, is what you're
well,
saying.
in that
Yes.
case, that's the federal's fault because they should have, closed the border when they should have. So they allowed this to happen, and then those mayors were forced to move money around so that they can accommodate the crisis. But it was still a crisis nevertheless. Regardless of any other opinion, it still used money that was supposed to be for the police or for the fire department or whatever other money they took from. They had to take it from what it was supposed to be for and use it for the crisis. And now that we want to fix the crisis and send those people back, this is the politics that we're seeing. We are witnessing the consequences of the federal government not doing their job. So now we are going to move on to the conspiracy side, because I know that Jimmy had some information that we're going to go over. So thank you so much, Linda, for joining the stage, and for
Am
Leonard.
I supposed to leave now?
Oh, you can stay on.
No, you can stay.
Okay.
I'm just going to play the
I
clip,
was just
but I just want
thinking
to
that
thank
was a
people.
nice goodbye. Okay.
No, we're going to stay
Okay.
on for about 30 more minutes, because I know Jimmy wanted to talk about some other topics, and we usually stay until midnight, so it's 11:30.
Okay.
But thank you to Linda for
All right.
joining, and Leonard for joining earlier, and for Bradley. That was a cool new.
Yeah, that was
I
interesting.
know he was like a hippie at heart, wasn't he?
Yeah. All right, guys. So we'll be back in about 2 minutes. All right, Jimmy, we are back.
Hang on a second.
Okay. Oh. And Jimmy, I think Jimmy is going to talk about some stuff that we mentioned last Tuesday. So if anybody remembers, we kind of wrote down some stuff about the Red Cross. So I'm interested to see what Jimmy has for us. I'm going to just say quickly hello to everybody in the chat. Justin is in the chat. Cat B. JG says bravo to Linda. Dallas
Hello,
is still here. Yeah. Okay, Jimmy's back. Welcome back, Jimmy.
All right, sorry about the delay. The coffee ran through me. So anyway, all right. So last week we did mention about the Red Cross rabbit hole. Now tonight I'm not going to go into full details on this, because you can actually go to YouTube. You can type in the Red Cross is evil, and you can find a lot of videos that are 20, 30, 40 minutes long, and you can dive deeper into this.
Okay.
So I'm just going to, give you a little teaser, so to speak. So Ruby, go over to our DMs on X, and there is a poster called Yorkshire Lass.
Okay. Yorkshire. Oh, I see.
All right, so I want you to put that up, and then just you're going to have to read it for the audience.
Okay, so this is a post on X, and the account is from the Yorkshire Lass, and the caption says, "Are we going to boycott the British Red Cross too, that was created by NGOs and billionaires, as the Red Cross provides extensive support to illegal immigrants coming into the UK? As we know, the Red Cross is a corrupt, fraudulent charity and used as a piggy bank that funds human and child trafficking, and we, the taxpayers, are paying for it." The picture in the post is of Lord Nathaniel Mayer de Rothschild, who became the second chairman of British Red Cross in June 1901.
Okay, now let's go over to the post by Andromeda 11711.
Okay.
And you want to read that one, and then there's like one video on there. I think it was like 4.
Yep.
But it's, yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and read that.
Okay, it says just like the UN involved in the same war-related activities, organ harvesting, child and human trafficking, drugs, weapons, money laundering, resources, slavery, a filthy, rotten, and reprehensible entity to the core. Be sure to read and digest what is conveyed in the last line of Zionist meme. Why the West is exempt from war crimes, crimes against humanity, and serious human rights abuses at the UN and the countries they prey upon, left without representative seats. UN is the international satanic banking cartel death cult, and their objective is world domination. See the protocols for puzzle-fitted proof. Okay. A little further down says, did you know the Red Cross isn't the benevolent organization you thought it was? Did you know the Red Cross was owned by the Rothschilds? Did you know the Red Cross was child trafficking, organ trafficking, adrenochrome, and money laundering? There is no more sitting on the fence. You can no longer ignore the problem. You either stand up and protect God's children or you don't. Never forget why we started. It always was and still is about the children. Crimes against our children, human trafficking, adrenochrome, pedophilia, organ harvesting, cannibalism. No joke. President Putin warned us. Enriched adrenochrome infused organs featured on the black market underground on the menu, but they are pricey. Military tribunals, no deals. We have a responsibility to protect our global children.
All right, and then the lower right-hand corner, there's that video. And so,
Okay, so
yeah, read it. You go ahead and read it.
okay. I mean that hold on. It says Red Cross, not what you thought it was. Where are the children? Ask the Red Cross. They sell your blood. You know that, right? And then it lists the same thing that I said in the post: child trafficking, human trafficking, organ trafficking, adrenochrome, drug trafficking, money laundering. But the video just showed just crates of money. So
Yeah.
so what does that mean?
So basically, when it talked about there's funneling of money, that's one thing the Red Cross is doing, and it's being used for child trafficking. It's being used for other things. So that money that they got, and people are going to find out about Haiti, what happened in Haiti after the earthquake, because after the earthquake, the first folks that went in there were the Clinton Foundation and the Red Cross. So the Red Cross gets all this money and they use it to pay certain people to be able to have access to a country's kids. So
Okay, so that's the theory, is that they come into a country that is torn up by some type of natural disaster or unstable, and they take advantage of orphans or just people who need help, and they disguise themselves as an organization. And in reality, this is what they're doing.
Correct.
Well,
And like I said, you know, the UN, you know, we talked about that last week, that the UN has been known to be involved in human trafficking. There's documented proof of that. There's actually court cases for that. So the whole reason I brought this up is everybody thinks that the Red Cross is some benevolent organization. You know, whenever there's a natural disaster, the first thing you see on your TV is donate to the Red Cross.
Yeah, but there's lots of organizations that do that. It's not just that one. So
Well, yeah,
what
but
makes
yeah.
them different?
Well, I was just focusing on the Red Cross.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because there's another one, the SPCA, which that's a whole nother thing, but they do pretty much the same thing. But anyway, there's also reports that only like 24.6% of the money that is raised by the Red Cross actually goes towards anything to help the people. So what about the other 75% of the money? Now, Red Cross has come out and said that 91 cents of every dollar goes out back to the people to help them. But okay, well, if that's the case, then why isn't Haiti in a better position than they are now? Why aren't any of these places that the Red Cross went into, why aren't they any better now? Where'd the money go?
Right.
Where's the kids? So it's something I just brought it out just to get you guys to dig into that on your own. Go check it out. Make your mind up for yourselves. But it's very interesting. And it's interesting that they chose Red Cross because Rothschild actually means red shield. So and then you have the Red Cross. So, and if you look at their shield, their family, what is it called? Oh God, what's it called? Your family, help me out here. Crest.
Yeah.
Your family crest.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it looks like a cross too.
Okay. So let me ask you, what woke you up to that reality that organization was doing that?
When I started going down the rabbit hole on child trafficking and adrenochrome.
Okay. So but like give me a source. Like what was the what did you see, or what was the moment where you connected the dots?
It was in the Fall of Cabal series done by Janet. Oh God, I can't think of her last name right now, but it was in the Fall of Cabal series. There was like 10 episodes to begin with. She put out more later on, but during my waking up process in 2020, I watched the Fall of Cabal episodes 1 through 10, which were mind blowing. And she did mention the Red Cross I don't remember which episode it was, but it's worth your time to watch all 10.
Oh, can you send me that title?
Yeah. I think it's on Rumble. I can actually send you a link. I think I have that.
Okay, send me that. I'm gonna try to be open-minded
It's
and
very interesting.
Okay.
And this lady's no longer with us today. She she died 2 years ago.
Really?
And she came out with like 21 episodes of the Fall of Cabal. So my wife watched them all.
Okay, yeah. Please send me the title or send me a link. I definitely want to watch that. Now let me ask you this. Do you think that that organization or others like it were instituted for that very purpose, or did it start out meaning well and then it was corrupted?
Like with most things, they start things out to make them seem like they're not harmless and that they're good and that it's helping people. It may have started out that way, but it was corrupted. There's a lot of things throughout history where they start out with good intentions, or they say it's going to be limited to certain people, but then it ends up being this big old monster, kind of like our taxes. It was only in 1913, it was only supposed to be for like the wealthy folks and a certain percentage, and it was supposed to disappear. Well, it didn't. And now it affects everybody.
Like the speed limit. Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, these organizations, they're just like NGOs, and we know what the NGOs do. So same thing. They're all corrupt.
So then why do they still exist? You said there was court cases and that there was, proof or evidence that something was going on or something. So why?
Yeah. So you can look up UN workers charged with human trafficking. You can look that up. You can probably do a quick Google search on it now and find something. But yeah, it's a
what was the phrase you said?
just
UN
put
worker.
yeah, UN workers charged with human trafficking.
Okay. Do you think that is it naive to say that maybe it was just the people you hiding behind an organization and committing these crimes, or is it the organization itself?
I believe it's the organization itself.
Okay. I don't know. I'm stuck on this one.
I'm gonna have to find which Fall of Cabal episode she did on the Red Cross, because she goes into much more detail. Like I said, I just presented it to you guys, and you guys can go from there and dig on it.
Okay, well, this is weird because the United Nations website itself put an article that said that, oh no, that they uncovered human trafficking at a camp in Malawi. Okay, that's confusing.
The UN said that?
Yeah, that's an article from 2022. It says refugees at risk, that the UN uncovers human trafficking at a camp. But what does that mean? That they saved people, or no? Yeah, right. This doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's something worth to dig in onto.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dig into it. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody, homework. Write that down. If you find any articles, send it to me, Facebook Messenger or on X Messenger, or email in the bio. If you find anything about those cases, send it my way. I'm interested in reading.
All right. The next one we'll go to is on our X DMs, by Anonymous. The conspiracy theory CIA thing that you saw earlier.
Okay. A memo. Was it a memo? Oh, a secret CIA memo dispatch.
Yeah.
Okay. Play the video?
Yeah.
In 1967, a CIA memo, Dispatch 1035-960, quietly instructed agents and media contacts to do something extraordinary. Label anyone questioning the official story of JFK's assassination a, quote, conspiracy theorist, end quote. This wasn't an offhand suggestion. It was a coordinated psychological operation designed to stigmatize dissent. By turning a neutral phrase into a smear, the agency could discredit critics without answering their evidence. This memo marks the moment when conspiracy theory stopped meaning an alternative explanation and started meaning crank, paranoid, untrustworthy. And it worked. For decades, legitimate questions about power and corruption were dismissed with a single label. Does this sound familiar to any of the ridicule aimed at conspiracy theories you're hearing today? Something to think about. My friends, we are all anonymous, and the real conspiracy is the fear of inquiry.
So the reason I wanted to share that is because for years I've been saying that the phrase conspiracy theory was coined by the CIA. This video right here shows proof of the CIA memo that said what to do with that phrase. So I'm backing that up to say that it was the CIA that coined the word conspiracy theorist. And notice what he said. And this is what confuses me a little bit about XJWs. We don't talk about that a lot, but when you hear the word apostate, I mean, we got apostate Linda James. Okay. So when you hear the phrase apostate, when the Jehovah's Witness hears that word apostate, what goes through their brain?
Bad, evil.
Yeah. Can't be trusted.
Right.
They're crazy. They don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
It's used as a slur.
Yeah, exactly. But yet there are XJWs that will call me a conspiracy theorist and stick with it, knowing or not knowing that it has the same connotation. that, oh, he can't be trusted. That information is fake. He's done lost his mind.
They may use it in that way because it's important to put it in the right context and the right tone, right? Because they're going to say it to dismiss you, like he said, to dismiss a legitimate questioning or inquiry.
Exactly. So the point that I wanted to make was, yes, we have actual proof that the CIA coined it and the reason why they coined it and what it accomplished. And in the XJW world, the phrase is apostate. It's the same playbook.
Right. Yeah.
So,
But they're gonna do that stuff to save themselves. I mean, that's my opinion.
oh yeah,
Makes them not want to question. It silences them. Call somebody an apostate, call somebody a conspiracy theorist. It's to silence them from doing any questioning. Yes.
Right.
So,
but that's the problem, isn't it, Jimmy? Because why is an American agency doing that to Americans?
oh, exactly. And they still do it. And then, not just the phrase, I mean, there's many different labels that they'll use to try to silence you. If you talk about Israel, and you don't talk about them in the right way that they want you to talk about, you're labeled as anti-Semitic.
Right.
And that's what happened. And that's what happened with Charlie Kirk.
Exactly. Yeah. Welcome, Gigi. Gail just joined us. If you want to make a comment, Gigi, go right ahead. Mute
Hi.
yourself.
I just want to make a comment about the crappy state I live in. What do you call it? The sanctuary state. They just had a huge bust. They arrested 5 Asian groups. They had several massage parlors, and they were loaded with drugs and weapons and fentanyl. But I wanted to just make a brief comment because I know it's getting close to midnight. I think the system's always been abused, and I don't think anybody should be denied health care. Especially I know if you go to the emergency room in my state, you sign a document and you get the medical care that you so need. But the problem is the using the system and abusing it, because a lot of people in this state have like 2 or 3 fake licenses, and they also have fake Social Security cards so that they can go to work. And I guess Elon Musk and them uncovered all the fraudulent stuff that was going on with Social Security with people that were, in their hundreds being applying. And I don't know who's getting all these checks, but the abuse has been going on a long time. It's just the abuse today is just it's overwhelmed our cities and countries. It's overtaxed every system that you can think of. You name it, we're overtaxed. Now, Massachusetts has a problem with hotels and motels. They kicked a lot of people out of them and they put migrants in. And should people be mad at that? Yeah, I'm angry about that because it's costing the state almost $500 million for housing all the migrants. It's stuff like that angers Americans. That's not fair. That especially down the Cape Cod in Massachusetts, they kicked out some veterans so the migrants can move into that. And I swear they do this deliberately to irate the American people. Well, anyway, I do have something I wanted to bring up that's not discussed anywhere on the news, but it's really bothering me. The Christian movement that's going on today in the world, I mean, there's an attack on Christians. They just beheaded 30 Christians in Mozambique, and in Nigeria, they've slaughtered 7,000. I'm not talking about the Turning Point Christian movement. I'm talking about true Christians. Israel slaughtering Christians, the UK slaughtering Christians. They were actually celebrating today in the UK about October 7th. I mean, it's just demonic, horrible stuff that's going on in the world. But what's going on in Africa really, really bothers me because nobody cares. Nobody's talking about it. I know people probably say, what can we do? It's not our problem, but we all need to do something. It has to, the genocide has to stop. And I don't know what we can do, but I want to do something because that's really disturbing. It's really bothering me what they're doing to the poor people in Africa that are wannabe Christians. I don't understand
Right.
it. Well, that's all I had to say. Thank you for letting me have
Yep.
the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Gigi,
Thank you,
for
Gigi.
joining and saying that. I agree with you 1000%.
I too.
Unfortunately, there is really nothing we can do, and that's what sucks. I mean, if I had a use for big government, I would use it for that. But unfortunately, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll see. That's what the Pope should have done. Instead of
Yes.
being in front of a block of ice,
I
that's
know.
what he should have been talking about. At least do a public prayer or something.
Yeah.
Like, that was really shocking and disturbing. So I mean, I have a lot of things to talk about with
That's
some
good.
people.
I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So it's midnight, Jimmy. Any final words?
I got one more clip I wanted to play for to close out the show this evening. You know how I've said before that, you know, we are operating on two timelines, that there are two different realities going on right now. And so we'll just play this clip, have a brief reaction to it, a brief reaction from the audience, and then maybe we can pick up on it next week in further discussion.
Definitely.
But it's going down the route. It's going to be the one with Julie Donuts.
Okay. I think we're definitely gonna have to watch it now and then pick up the conversation next Tuesday.
Yeah, because we talk a lot. We talk a lot of stuff about, you know, about how bad some things are and everything, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, I do believe, and so this kind of leads into that a little bit.
So back in 1871, our country, America, was sold by our president, Ulysses S. Grant, to basically the royal family. We became owned. We lost all sovereignty, all freedoms, all constitutional rights. We became what is called the USA Incorporated business entity. Now, what does that have to do with anything today? So many of you just watched the inauguration and things that took place, and a lot of things stood out. And the biggest one was realizing that Trump actually has never left, quote unquote, office. You see, there's two presidents. There's two types of worlds that we're living in. One that is fake, one that is built unconstitutionally, one that is based on certain laws, one that is based on corruption and manipulation, and based pretty much in a foreign occupation territory known as Washington, D.C. And Washington, D.C. also works in coordinates with the Vatican and also the royal family, and then you tie in all other places where the deep state operates to control and depopulate the world. Sounds aggressive, right? On the other timeline, there's a constitutional republic. And this is why you've seen Trump wear these hats that says 45-47. He never left. It looks like he did. It looks like he had to resign or step away for Biden to come in. But the whole Biden administration was just to wake the world up to how corrupt these people are. You have to zoom out. This whole process, the last 8 years you've been seeing, more than that, has literally been a global military operation. How, what, and why? To wake up the public, to restore back our Constitution, to transfer power from a centralized, corrupt, globalist, New World Order, deep state government back into the hands of the people. And so what you have just witnessed and what you are going to continue to see from what's happening at the border, what's happening in our economy, what's happening in pharmaceuticals, what's happening in banking, what's happening in DC and politics, which is now no longer and is a bankrupt corporation, we are becoming sovereign and free as a country. We're returning power back to the people. This is the most amazing time to be alive. The best is truly yet to come. And when Trump says the golden age, that is beyond what most of us can even comprehend. To get to these places, though, we have to wake up. We have to zoom out and connect the dots and realize this whole time we've been lied to, living under this corporation where we are the employees and the government has been our boss, when in reality, these roles should have been flipped since day one. I pray that you stay peace. I pray that you stay grounded. I pray that you share this and really start to look into things of how this corporation has been dissolved, how the power is going to be returning back to the people. And when you start to connect these dots, when you zoom out, you'll realize that nothing can truly stop what is coming. And the best is truly yet to come. God bless you.
All right, guys. So I'm going to leave it on that note because I have a whole lot with that theory. But next Tuesday, we'll pick it up 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come back to the show. Be here in the chat at 9. And That's a great topic to pick back up, and we have talked about this before, so I am familiar with this theory, and I know that you believe in it, Jimmy. But I'm gonna discuss it next Tuesday. I'm gonna leave it there.
That's fair. Does Gigi or Linda have any last words for this evening before I get my last words?
No, just have a good weekend.
Aw, thank you,
I
Thank you,
Gigi.
agree.
Gigi.
I agree with Gigi. Yeah. Have a good weekend.
Thank
And
you, Linda.
I'll be on Saturday night, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to
Okay.
hang out.
Okay.
Nice,
On
very
my
nice.
channel.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Bye, Gail.
Good
Bye,
night.
Linda.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
guys.
night, everyone.
So my last words for this evening. I know things seem crazy scary, and I've said it that it's going to get crazier. It's going to get scary. There's a lot of crap going on right now, and you just really have to leave every option on the table. I had one other thing that I wanted to, but I'm not going to go there. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. But anyway, so just stay tuned. We're going to do the best we can to try to keep you guys, informed, or at least give you information that you can go find on your own. That's really what we want to see happen, is folks start digging on some of these subjects. Don't take Ruby's word for it. Don't take my word for it. We're just going to give you a map, and you can go search the road yourself. That's where you will learn the most. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that does watch our show. We do appreciate you guys. And yeah, remember, I'm not on Facebook. So if you want to follow what I do, you're going to have to find me on X. It's just Jimmy Bell. Just find me there, hit follow. And if you want to be part of the group chat that we have on X, let me know and I'll add you to it. So just want to say thank you to everybody. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys too. And just a last note from me is that it's okay to be for more than one thing. Like I've demonstrated tonight, you can agree with both sides of a certain situation, and that's okay too. You don't have to be either for or against something, and therefore that means you can't be in support of something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't believe in those types of contradictions. You can be for one thing or another, or for one thing and be on both sides. There's certain things you can do that with, and I think that that's okay. You don't have to be. I mean, I do say a lot, like, don't be neutral and pick a side and stuff like that, and there are appropriate instances where you have to do that, right? But I don't think you have to do that for everything. Like, you don't have to be so black and white on everything. You don't have to be so hardcore on everything. So sometimes I have those moments and I'm like, you know what? I don't know how to feel about that, because I would say yes to both. Like, I would be in favor of both. And if that may seem like it contradicts with something that I've said in the past, well, I felt like that then and I feel like this now. And it is what it is. Oh well. But you continue to move forward. That's what matters. And I really do hope that Jimmy is right when he says things with these types of theories that make it seem as if we can go back to the constitutional America, back to the United States of America. I want to believe them. I really do, and it's because I love my country. Like, the patriotism sometimes bleeds out, and then other times I'm like, hell no, I'm not paying taxes. Like, I have those moments. But I really do hope that you're right, Jimmy. I really do hope that those things are right.
I do too. And from all the years that I've looked at everything, I just view things a lot differently than some folks. And I think the biggest thing is the fear factor. I don't live in fear anymore. I really don't. And, when something pops off on the news, I don't get all freaked out and scared and, oh my God. But unfortunately, so many people are still living their lives and can be affected by fear very quickly. You know, they see they see a story on the news. Oh my God, we're going to World War III. We're all going to die. Da, da, da. It's just a negative outlook on life, which I understand why they have it. But you have to be able to overcome fear. Because if you can overcome, think about it, it's false evidence appearing real.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Wow, that's a great way of putting it.
And so once you get to that point where you're not living in fear, that allows your mind to open up to different things. You see things differently. And that opens up a whole new world of information for you. Because if you're stuck in fear, you're afraid, like we were in Watchtower, we were conditioned to be afraid to look at other material. Same thing here. If you're living in fear of the world and all that, it's going to keep you in fear of going and looking at different information.
Right.
So that's
And that's Jimmy's pro tip on how to deal with political fear and propaganda, because that's what propaganda does. You watch too much TV, you start feeling anxious all of a sudden or depressed, and as soon as you turn off the TV and go outside, you start feeling a lot better. You go for a walk, get the sunshine or the moonlight. I love going out at night and staring at the stars. But
I guess Ruby, the only reason I say that is because I know that there's more crap coming down the pipeline that's going to scare the crap out of people.
I believe it. I believe that.
That is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that, but you
And I'm
see,
just trying to get people to try to mentally prepare for that.
right.
That's it.
And right, you have to prepare for it because it's gonna happen either way. And you know what? That's how I deal with my fear when it comes to politics and stuff. I look at it as it's out of my control. I can't be in control of everything. So when it's out of my control, all I can do is just be true to myself because I know myself now. Before I didn't know myself, so I was more insecure and that was more fearful because I didn't even know how I felt about certain things. Now I know myself. I've done a personal growth in other areas of my life so that when something bad happens, I don't freak out because at least I have a foundation where I can fall back on and be like, well, put politics aside, I'm still a person of these certain values or morals or whatever. Like I follow a faith. I follow a book. I follow something that I'm not just sitting around doing nothing, or feeling insecure that I don't know who I am, or if I don't have my friends or family around me anymore. Like that doesn't concern me anymore. I'm so focused on myself and the future that those things don't really bother me. So when something does happen, like it did with Charlie, and yeah, I freak out for about 5 minutes or a week, but then after that, I'm like, well, rest in peace. That's all we can do. Oh well,
Yeah,
like it is what it is, and keep it moving.
It's natural. It's human nature to have a reaction to a big story. That's natural. But if you got to remember, why is fear being used? To control you, control your mind. And when you're not living in fear no more, it's a personal, I feel like it's a personal accomplishment that I've taken that control back for myself because I'm not living in the fear they want me to live in. So when I'm always optimistic and positive and stuff, the folks that are still living in fear think that I'm crazy for having that viewpoint.
Right.
But it's because I've taken that control back.
And they use that fear to sway your vote. So when you vote without fear and you go against all the grains, against everybody else, you're also the odd one out. Like, oh my God, how could you vote that way? Don't you see what's going on? And it's like, yeah, I see what's going on. That's exactly why I'm voting this way. Because you're not voting with that fear or with emotion. You're voting for what you know is right.
I can't tell you how many times on Facebook I've posted, "Do not live in fear."
Mm-hmm.
I post it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll come up with a nice little thing next week on the advantages. Oh, I'll tell you this. I know we said last thing. Have you ever used AI, Gronk, or anything?
I mean, yeah, to ask questions or to write me something. Yeah.
Okay, so I used Claude for the very first time. It's Claude 4.5 Sonnet. I've never yet. It's like, yeah, it's really good. John told me about it when we went bowling this weekend. But I started messing with it, and I was on that thing for like 2 hours the other night, asking it questions, and I went with conspiracy stuff, but it was really interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in there, give me the advantages of not living in fear.
That's a good one.
And whatever it comes out and says, I'll screenshot it, email it to myself, and I'll share it with you guys next week.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so now you're gonna be like Gigi and Jesse talking to AI now and getting answers from Grok or something like the one you mentioned.
Well, it's very interesting because I talked about some stuff, or it said a few things, and then I pushed back on it, and then it actually apologized to me and said I was right. I have the screenshots. I'll
No,
send
you
them
gotta
to you.
share. You have to share.
I'll
Yep.
share the screenshot. But it's actually the AI. It actually, yeah, you have a good point, and I apologize. I shouldn't have said I had documentation or evidence when I didn't, or something like that. Yeah,
And it's supposed to, because it's supposed to be searching the internet while you're asking it, right? Like,
well, one thing was yesterday I asked it about the Charlie Kirk assassination, and the first thing that came up says, I have no information on Charlie Kirk being assassinated. If this was the case, that would make real major headlines. So I screenshotted.
It's late. That's
Hold
late.
on. Yeah, I screenshotted it, sent it to John. I was like, John, what the hell is this? And he's like, they're programmed to be like at a certain date. Like they're supposed, they could be like a week behind, 2 weeks behind. So something could happen tomorrow and the AI might not know about it for like 2 weeks. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's just kind of, it's learning. It's using us. It's using humans to learn how to be itself, what it was programmed to do.
I will ask John, because like I said, we went bowling this weekend and he talked to me forever about AI stuff. So if we want to have that discussion, maybe John will come back on one time and talk about AI.
Okay, good. So Fighter says, Jimmy, ask AI about Project 2025 and if it's being implemented now. That will be a great point to kind of go over.
I will say this, and John will back it up. Most of these AI systems are left leaning.
Yeah. I mean, I knew that. Yeah.
I'll just say that they are, because that's who's programming them.
Right.
And you got to think, it pulls information that's already out there.
Right.
So who's been controlling the media for so long? We know who's been controlling the media.
Right. So it's going to give you those answers. Yeah.
That's why it's important to push back on it. It's kind of fun.
Okay, so can you write these questions down? Because we got some questions in the live chat tonight, but I want to pick it up for next Tuesday as well, because Jane
go ahead.
gave a question at around 10. So she's asking you and I, if the USA has a war, what would it look like for us citizens living here? That's a good question. So write that down. We could discuss. JG asked, can someone explain who is anonymous? What's their history? That's a good topic. I would love to hear Jimmy explain about anonymous. And Debbie's question was about Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, about the 60-day comment that you made about the government shutdown. So maybe we can go a little bit deeper next Tuesday and talk about that. Because I think that's a fear that everybody has. Every single time the government shuts down, everybody starts asking, "Oh, what about my SSI or my Medicare or Medicaid, whatever?" So those are good questions to kind of do. Maybe we could do like a video or something and just like educate people, or educate us about government shutdowns, and what does that mean? Like you said, it takes the like funding from certain things, and it shuts it down, and then the president is the one who has to bring it back.
Yeah, or it has to go back through Congress, and it has to go back through step one. They have to reintroduce a bill and vote on it and all that stuff.
Right. So that process, I would like to find a video that kind of plays it for us, maybe like a 5-minute clip or something or less.
Like what happens during a government shutdown?
Yeah, and how do those things come back? Like, what's that process? Okay, great. So that would be more content for next Tuesday, because we're kind of working on the fly. We're freestyling it, and
Do y'all like this style?
Yeah, let us know. Give us a comment on the videos and see if you like this kind of style, because I don't know, for me it works because it just feels natural. It feels like I'm talking to a buddy, like we just hang out in the living room type of conversation. Yeah. Okay. So good night, everybody. Thank you for joining. Everybody who was watching from Jimmy's channel, from my channel, we'll see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Hopefully you guys can join us again. Be in the chat, join the stage as early as possible, and we're just here to hang out. All right. Bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. You too, Ruby. Take care, girl. Have a good week.
Bye. All right, you too. Bye.
Trump, yeah, okay, bury him a legend, yeah, Trump, hey, okay, America's biggest blessing, free speech advocate, packing, never lacking it, I just bought another gun and ain't nobody taking it, gang, okay, the White House going crazy now, MAGA season, tell them liberals they can't break us down, it's